Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, is my wonderful friend, Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
I didn't know if you were going to get to the unmute button in time, so I added a couple of extra words just because I wanted to make sure you were there.
It's all good. I just noticed that I still had my fan running. I was like, oh, I should turn that off.
That's not very professional of you, good sir.
Yeah.
It's all good. I forgive you. We've been rambling and talking off screen way too much, and now we've got to rush because I've got a train to catch in the morning. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, the way this is working is we are currently recording this on the Friday night after Summer Game Fest. We're going to do our impressions of the state of play and Summer Game Fest now, and then we'll do a cut back to the Xbox stuff, because from what I've heard, there's actually quite a few little bits and pieces we'll want to talk about from the Xbox show. So we'll have like an epilogue. It'll be cut into like two pieces. So we hope that's okay. We hope that's cool. I think it's better anyway. You'll get a fresh reaction from Game Fest, and State of Play was a thing anyway, so I don't think that one matters as much. But we're going to dive into all of them, all the big reveals, all the announcements. We're going to talk about it all this week. It may be that we're cutting some stuff out for time, and if we do, I apologize. If you really cared about the 26 Samurai games that were all announced this week, I'm sorry, dude. Did you notice that, Hunter? Why was like half the game? Like like there was a point where I was talking to a friend while we were watching the showcase, and they said, "I thought we've seen this one earlier," and I was like, "It wouldn't surprise me." There was a couple of games at Jeff's show. I was like, "Damn, everyone's gone in on the Sekiro Samurai kind of."
Yeah, it's a little weird that it's come so late after Sekiro, right? Like you thought that.
Or Neo, maybe they're all yeah. But even then, Neo 1 is old as well. It's even older than Sekiro.
Yeah. Yeah, Neo 1 came out before Sekiro even. It's weird, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, every year for the last little while, there's been, like, one, but now it feels like the market's really
heating up,
congregating.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk about all of that anyway. So if we miss a game, let us know. Maybe we'll bring it up in a later episode. Or maybe it's releasing in September, like everything else. But yeah, we're going to start off with the state of play, then we'll move to Summer Game Fest, and then we'll cut back to future Ethan and Hunter, who have seen an Xbox show. Wonderful. Yeah. Can't wait for that. But hey, it can't be worse than the state of play. The worst they can get is second at this point. If Persona is there, Hunter, the worst they can get is second, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome to the show. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere, and at youtube.com/hotgamesonly. Bit of housekeeping for you as we get into review season. There will should be some more reviews coming out relatively soon. There should be a review for Coffee Talk Tokyo coming out very soon. I believe the script is done for that one.
The script is done.
And I have finished Bond, so there should be a review up of Bond in the next week or so. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah. We're going to dive straight into it, Hunter. I'm not going to mess around. Like I say, I have got a train in the morning, good sir. I've got to get out of this house. So the quicker we get through the state of play, the quicker we can move on to the main meat that was the Summer Game Fest season. And also, it just means the quicker I can catch some Z's. So where do you want to start with state of play? What was your overall thoughts? I'll go with that.
I liked it more than you did, I would say, off of the vibe check I'm getting here. Just by virtue of
you watched it like separate from the like myself, Kyle, and a couple of we watched both of these together, and you watched it in your own little incubation like chamber, like you were by yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't want to get swayed by the negative energy. I think the way I described the state of play was it was a very Hunter centric state of play where I watched, I was watching every trailer. I was like, well, Hunter's going to be happy. Well, Hunter's going to be happy. Well, Hunter's going to be happy.
Yeah. Eventually you typed into the group message, stop hawking the state of play.
I agree with that statement. I don't think I don't think it was a bad state of play. I don't think it was the state of play that they needed. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people right now who are sitting there going, what is the state of PlayStation? And that didn't really answer it. It just said, here's a look at a game you already know is coming out in September. Here's a 20-minute cutscene from a game that is probably coming out in the first half of next year, from the sounds of it. Jason Schreier seems to say. I don't know why they've put in development. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
So, but it like in all the middle stuff could literally have been everywhere else. In fact, some of it was a repeat at the at the Keighley show, and some of it,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I think the Keighley show had a better showing from some of them as well. I think,
There were also things that were missing.
yeah.
Like, I thought for sure that Kana was going to be here.
Hmm.
I thought that there was going to be the date for Castlevania
Yeah.
here.
And it wasn't a Keighley show either, so you've got to assume. I
No,
don't know.
and those
I
definitely aren't going to show up at Xbox. I don't know. I could see Castlevania just being something that Konami would be like,
maybe.
well, here it is.
I also, if I was Konami and I was looking and it was like it's looking like it's coming in a bit hot, that to me screams like a push that one back to 27. You've seen what
Mm.
September's like. Maybe not. Which I think is fine, there's plenty of time in spring to get that game out. But yeah, there was a lot of games where I was like, oh, that's fine. That's cool. Whatever. We're gonna go through them now. You're gonna list off, but there was a lot of games where it's like, even God of War, where I was watching God of War and I'm like, this is a really fun concept for the next mainline God of War. The everywhen, the place where gods go
Yeah.
when they die, is such a good concept. But still, it's more God of War. And even though I enjoyed it, I'll play it when it comes out and I'll have a great time. But I don't need this much of it now when, again, we don't know when it's coming out. It just kind of felt more like another one of Sony's promises. You'll get this. You'll also get a God of War remake trilogy. You'll also get this Until Dawn 2, because everyone was asking for that. So yeah, it kind of fell a bit flat for me. Whereas what I was expecting was I kind of wanted a couple of surprises, and we didn't get any surprises really.
Yeah.
Or if there was a surprise that was a bit of a joy, like Rayman Legends, it leaked 5 days
you
early.
already knew about it.
Yeah. So let's trickle down. Let's have a look at the state of play. Like I say, Hunter, feel free to skip stuff, or we can say skip. You can say it, and we'll go. Nope, don't have anything to say.
Yeah. So it started with the Wolverine showing, which was mercifully like under 10 minutes, which I'm grateful for. I didn't need to see a whole lot of this game.
I'm still excited for it, but can I be honest with you? It didn't do anything.
It didn't really. It just kind of didn't affect you positively or negatively, really.
It was a thing where it's like, I will be playing this game because I love Insomniac and I love all the games that they've made, so I will probably enjoy it. But it was like, and I don't want to be cynical about Sony first party, really, because like I say, I adore Insomniac to pieces. But I was just watching it and it was just run of the mill everything that Sony does, where it's like, okay, it's a third person narrative game. The combat looks fine. You've got characters coming in. Look, it's Jean Grey. Wow. Look,
I don't like her design.
It's fine. I have got no different. I don't care for X-Men anyway.
It's one of those things where it's like it just doesn't seem to suit her.
I don't think the realistic suit suits Wolverine either, right? Really, if I'm being honest with you. I'll probably switch to one of those other skins that are available. But
yeah, like him with the leather jacket or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Seems
that's what I want.
like...
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Especially if he's not, they're doing the whole thing. It's not the X-Men.
Especially if he's not, predates the X-Men right now anyway.
Predates the X-Men, so I'm just sitting there going, yeah, give him a leather jacket, have some fun. But then it's just even like watching the gameplay section, it's like, this is all the motorbike and all this jazz is stuff that we've seen in prior trailers already, so they're not showing us anything new. And also, it's just how many, like, I love Uncharted 4. It's brilliant. It's one of my favorite Naughty Dog games. I adore it. How many chases do I need to do where I'm on top of blooming cars, jumping from one car to another, doing these combat things, where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, yeah, this is, I enjoy this kind of stuff, but it's like, I don't know how many games since Uncharted 4, and even before Uncharted 4, that I have seen this sequence play out. And it's just like, I'm just kind of sitting there, I'm just like, I don't know, I was hoping for the M rating to not just be because of the gore. I was looking for a more interesting take, I guess. It just feels very, like, by the books, which is
safe.
Fine. Yeah, it just feels very safe.
Yeah, like it's going to be what it needs to be, but probably nothing more.
Yeah. It'll be an 86 and it'll be fantastic. I want to make that explicitly clear. It'll be fantastic and we'll have a good time. But again...
Yeah, like, I'm going to like it fine. If I had to guess, I'll probably be walking away with more positive feelings about this than I did Spider-Man 2 at the end of the day.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But I also...
One thing I did like during that gameplay demo is it seems like there's some level of, like, environment interactability with what you're doing. Like, when he Spartan kicked the guy onto the forklift, that was cool.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
much of that will be present throughout the entire game, who knows? But, having a couple of those at least, like if that's something that they, curated really well throughout the game, I could set it apart a little bit, I would say.
100%. I think it's like I say, overall, it looked fine. It didn't wow me, but it did the job. It was like, I think this game's gonna be good. I'm gonna have a good time. I'll play it. I'm glad it didn't run over. But it also reminded me that, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, it's safe, it's by the books. It's another Insomniac game that's gonna be fantastic. And I think, again, with this state of play, the thing that disappointed me was I want to be more excited for Sony, because Sony has been for the past 3 or so years just a two game output, where it's like you get 2 games a year. So it's like this
Two
year
games,
you'll
and
get Saros and
most of
you'll
the
get
time,
Wolverine.
at least one of them feels like they're coasting.
Where it's like, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, yes, Marvel Spider-Man was a bit more generic, but you had a good time and it's like you played it by the books. But then when you also look at the 2018 release calendar for Sony, you had Shadow of the Colossus remake, God of War 2018, Detroit Become Human, Marvel Spider-Man, and Astrobot Rescue Mission for VR. So it was like you had a lot. So it was like, yes, you'd have something that was a bit more generic or by the books, but you'd also, it all mixed nicely in the portfolio. When you have a year where it's just Saros and Wolverine, I'm like, those are 2 good games. But also, it's like, I'm only, if you're only getting 2 first-party outputs and it's, Wolverine's another superhero game like you've had before, I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm going, I wish there was like, I don't know, a little bit more of a bite to it. Something that, you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily see a Ubisoft or an Activision do if they were to have the same property. Obviously, it'd be a lot
Yeah,
worse if they had their hands on it,
yeah,
but,
yeah. It's like
you know,
it's like how I described Ghost of Tsushima when we first played that. I'm like, well, this is the best Assassin's Creed game I've played in a really
hmm
long time. Like,
yeah.
which halfway a backhanded compliment, because it's really well made, but also not as special as everyone likes to act like it was.
Yeah. And don't, like I say, I think it's just me being a bit more jaded with Sony in general, but I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be great,
Yeah,
and it's going
yeah.
to do the job. We're
There
going to
is
have a
a
great
bit of
time.
PlayStation malaise attached to just about everything that they do right now for me too.
And I want to be abundantly clear that it's not just a Sony issue. I'm having the same kind of malaise feeling with both Xbox and Nintendo as well, where I do sit there and I look at Mario Kart World and I sit there and I go, cool, it's more Mario Kart again. But also, the last one was better in every
Yeah.
way. It played better. In some ways, Mario Kart 8 looks better than World, because World has to, deal with day and night cycles, so not everything will look as, it's like there's a lot of stuff where it's like, it's not just a Sony issue. It is a fundamental issue, I think, with a lot of places, like a lot of publishers right now. But also, like, I don't know. I just want a little bit of a bite. I just, something a bit more interesting. I would much rather if this demo have been, Wolverine, the bar stuff. Wolverine going into a bar, getting the crap beaten
Yeah.
out of him, and then running out and doing something like that, instead of it just being like a generic superhero. Like, I laughed. Kyle laughed at me because I laughed when Goofy Wolverine was running on top of like the building at the start with his yellow fucking spandex on. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's Goofy. I'm sorry, that's not
It is
cool. That
really
is
goofy.
Goofy. That is Goofy.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. One
It's
other
still gonna
final
be
bit
great.
of
I'm sorry.
criticism
Yeah.
I had for the showing here. Wolverine, like the actor,
hmm
seemed kind of bored in this demo.
Yeah, a little bit.
And like, God, maybe it'll probably be all right in the final product as
Hopefully.
a full performance, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of lackadaisical in the demo there.
I think the problem you're gonna have, and this is again a real praise for Yuri, is Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man did such an incredible job. His performance in the 3 games that we've had so far is brilliant. And to be fair, Naji's performance
Yeah,
as
Najee
Miles
Jetter's
is
performance
also
was great too.
phenomenal. So the fact that you've got such a high bar of performances for the Marvel superhero universe so far, I'm not saying his performance is bad, but there's not been anything yet where I'm sitting there and just instantly going, oh yeah, that's Wolverine. Like,
Yeah.
instantly, as soon as I started hearing Yuri's performance, I was like, yeah, there he is. He's on. He's nailed it. And
Spider-Man
I'm
just already felt like a character that Yuri Lowenthal would play.
I also think it helped that you were jumping into a character that is like, he's been around the block a little bit. Where it's like I know Wolverine and the whole timeline thing is just it's very sitting right now. Where it's just like I don't know
It's
where
really
this is
weird.
taking place. I don't know where what point Wolverine is in his like. Spider-Man was a lot easier to just jump in, but I think Spider-Man's also a
Yeah.
better character to just jump into. But anyway, I love Insomniac. I think they're great. I think this game will be good. I'm sorry for the nitpicks, but it was one of those state of plays where I just feel like I had to say some stuff. Go on.
The next thing was Marvel Tokon. They
Cool.
they revealed some new characters.
It was the villains team,
Neat.
basically. It was Doom, Carnage,
Magneto, and Green Goblin.
and Green Goblin. Pretty cool.
Which is weird combination on its face, but I'm sure there's some kind of nerdy comic reason that they're together.
Well, I'll tell you why. They're the villains team, and they're all villains to other characters that are in the game. So it's like the way that they split them into groups is it's like team. I can't remember who's the head of that team. I think is it Team Magneto. I don't know.
I think it was Team Doom.
Team Doom. That's it. But the whole idea behind Team Doom is they're all villains that, Spider-Man can't, they've got like, the reason is they link to all the other ones. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Still cool. That game looks good.
Yeah. After that, Rayman Legends Retold.
Yes. What a fucking game. I can't wait. I can't wait. I love Rayman Legends. Obviously, I don't think you can't beat that original UbiArt engine in the way that game looks. It's just, it's aged like fine wine. It's a brilliant game. I love it. But also, I really love this art style that they're going for with the new one. I think that it really looks charming and great. And the idea of people always sitting there and they're like, why would you mess with Rayman Legends? And it's like, Rayman Legends is the best level expansion that I've ever played in my life. What I mean by that is, a lot of it is just more Rayman Origins again, but better. Like, there's no cohesive story in Rayman Legends. There's no reason for anything happening. It's all just kind of feels like a big level pack. And it's brilliant and it's wonderful and the levels are fantastic. It's a brilliant, brilliant video game. But I think them going back into it and giving it a story and voice acting and bringing the actors back from Rayman 3, dude. Like, what we do, Murphy sounds like Rayman 3. And if we do get Rayman 4, the fact that they've brought back Billy West, who infamously said the line, see you in Rayman 4, and they might actually bring him back for a Rayman 4, it's absolute cinema. Can't wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, I think it's been, again, it's like Black Flag Resynced, where it's like, you don't have many games, Ubisoft, where you could do this, where you can remake a game that I genuinely adore and do it in a good way. So it's like, it's an easy win for you, and I'll be happy, and I'll be picking it up. And the fact that it's a cheaper game, it's £35 in the UK.
Yeah, it's like $40, I think.
And you get a copy of Rayman Origins included with every edition, not even just a special edition. Every edition comes with it. So if you do prefer the old, yeah. It's a done deal for me. I think this is incredible. I think it's brilliant, and I'm very much looking forward to playing it. And there's new stuff. There's new 3D sections. There's new elements to it. There's 4 new music track levels. What's not to love? Rayman Legends is brilliant. What's not to love? Play it. The people that are complaining, I'm like, God, I wish that Vicarious Visions put this much love into Insane Trilogy. That's all I'm saying. Is Rayman Legends Retold genuinely looks like a really like well-made thing, whereas Insane Trilogy was like an asset pack, an asset flip of tried to make 3 games with a bunch of Unreal assets from the looks of it.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. And at the price point, give it October 1st cannot come quick enough. I will definitely F September off all those games. I'll be there for Rayman, baby. Day one.
Next up was Bancho the Chef, a Dave the Diver spin-off. A completely different kind of game.
Yep.
Seemingly some kind of visual novel RPG type of deal here.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place several years before the events of Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that this would be something to exist, but that's cool.
Yeah, I think this looks fine. I think the only complaint I have is a similar complaint to what other people are like, where it's like the art style for Dave the Diver, like the original art style, was what kind of like
it was really charming,
charm.
and this looks like so just kind of bog standard JRPG assets.
So it's like it's like the art style leaves a bit to be desired. Like I wish it looked more like its you know, it's the original game, but you know, it's there. It's. I need to get to Dave the Diver.
I
Eventually,
never
I'll put my
played.
teeth in. I can't talk under. Eventually.
Yeah, I
Ugh.
never played all of it. I think I might consider going back to it because they have like a complete edition
Mm,
physical thing
yeah.
coming out later this year. I think I'm gonna pick that up because the Switch physical edition that came out a couple of years ago never dropped in price at all. So I might as well just get the
I do have
one that's
that,
coming.
and I think
That's
it's called the
yeah,
complete edition. So now there's an even completer edition. Brilliant.
yeah, they're just funny, but yeah. So now might as well get the new version with
Yeah, totally.
extra stuff for the same price, you know?
Might as well.
And then I'll maybe give it the real shot there.
Mm.
After that, Kamori, which I spent. This one was interesting because I was sitting there going, "Oh, it's one of these," because I thought it was just going to be like one of those goofy multiplayer things that are probably going to come and go in 6 months. And then it kept going. I'm like, "Oh, wait a second, this is Nakamura's game."
Yeah. Which, you know, I'm like, it's cool. It's nice to see it. You know, it's
I
a
don't
nice
know
looking
if
game.
there's enough to it for like I don't know if
Yeah,
what they're doing is something that I'm actually gonna want to play,
which is
but
fair.
it does look cool. Like they've got, the guy running up the skyscraper or whatever, all like that was a really cool animation.
Yeah.
It's got some style to it in a way that other games don't.
Hmm.
Even if I don't play it, I hope it does well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Where it's like, you know, she's like, it's me. And I'm like, that. I'm like, hey, I know you and you're great. But also, that moment from E3 was like 7 years ago. So it's like, there'll be a lot of people watching this who are like, I have no clue who you are. But yeah, it's nice to see her again. It's nice to see her working on something. Fingers crossed it's a good thing. It's a good project.
Yeah. After that was Tomb Raider, the Legacy of Atlantis, the remake.
Stick
Pushed
it in
out of the
February,
year
guys. So what could
into
go wrong?
February.
Godspeed to you with Persona and probably Final Fantasy 7. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a month. That's going to be my September problem. Like, September is funny to me because there's a lot of games that I'm not playing, so I don't really mind. But next February, Hunter, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be the same problem where it's like I hope, which considering that I was able to finish Persona 3 in time for Rebirth, I think I'll be able to finish Persona 4 in time for
hopefully.
Final Fantasy 7-3.
Fingers
But
crossed. But yeah,
yeah.
Tomb Raider, I'm not surprised it got delayed. I thought this was pretty much inevitable at this point.
Yeah, I thought
It still
that
looks
I didn't
fine.
think
It
it
looks
was
good.
gonna show up. I thought it was gonna just be not talked about and delayed by omission.
But no, I think it looks pretty decent. I'm looking forward to playing it eventually in February. Again, the price point, can't complain. A cheaper
Yeah.
game, and also, you know, one thing that I really do appreciate is the modern Tomb Raider trilogy had a real kind of reluctance to acknowledge its past, whereas this one, even though it's trying to be a bit of a fresh start, it's still like the extra DLC costumes that you get in the special editions are like iconic outfits from the other games. And I'm like, the fact that this game is celebrating the history of Lara Croft more, I
Yeah,
kind of
I
appreciate that.
also like the tone of the original Tomb Raider more.
It's a bit tongue in
As
cheek.
far
Yeah,
as
it's
like
supposed to be a bit
yeah.
um
Like
it's supposed to be a bit
the
goofy.
Tony I didn't ever play Rise or Shadow, but the 2013 Tomb Raider game I played and liked it well enough when it was newer.
I think that
But
first Tomb Raider
it's
reboot is really good. I love it.
yeah, it's just one of those things where like as an adult looking back on it, something kind of off about the way they treat Laura in that game.
Yeah, I see that. I think what's interesting about the Survivor trilogy is I think that first game is brilliant and they get progressively worse. And I think Rise is a better game fundamentally from a gameplay level. But the issue is you have this whole Tomb Raider reboot of Lara Croft becoming Lara Croft. I keep saying Laura and Lara. I keep switching. I'm sorry. It's Lara. Um, but you know, you have that whole game where it's like this is her becoming Lara Croft, the Lara Croft, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider is like, oh, but she's not there just yet. So this is her becoming Lara Croft, and then the third one's
After
like, yeah, but
everything
she's
you
not
put her
there
through
just
in that
yet.
first
Yeah,
game, it should have been.
it felt like
Let me tell you,
by
that
the
poor
first one, I
woman
felt
went
like
through.
yeah. Like by the first one, I was like, she's the Tomb Raider now. She is Lara Croft. So the fact that, this new one is just like hopping in and it's a bit more like the original, I'm interested to see how it plays out. Obviously, gameplay is another thing, because one thing with those Survivor trilogy was the gameplay was very good. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see if they manage to find a balance between old Tomb Raider and the Survivor trilogy, which we'll see. But I'm optimistic. We'll see in February.
Yeah. After that was they stuck to the dinosaur theme for a minute, The Lost Wild, and
I have nothing to say about
that. Yeah. Annapurna horror game.
Yeah.
Seemingly about dinosaurs.
Dino Crisis fans get
if Capcom won't make one, someone else will. Yep. So I'll be interested to see more of that.
Yeah.
Phantom Blade Zero got a 30-second trailer that said check back for more in the summer, and then also a tweet that delayed it to October, which I am more than willing to take.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna. Squeezing that one in at the beginning of September before Wolverine and before the rest of the deluge of things I'm gonna play at the end of the month would have been tough. So
we'll get to it
at the end of October, when November's an open field for me, I'm more than happy with.
Yeah, it feels like we're actually going to get to it instead of
Dune Awakening. Don't care about Dynasty Warriors 3 Remastered. Don't particularly care about. No Rest for the Wicked is from the Ori team, which I have been vaguely interested in since it was announced. I know it's been in early access for a while, but I don't like playing things in early access, so be interested to give it a whirl at some stage.
They also announced they were delaying it as well for Xbox, and it's only coming to PS5 and PC now. It's being delayed for Xbox and Switch 2 because of the Xbox Series S and the Switch 2. They're finding it hard to port to, so they were like, we're gonna just run with what we've got, which I find baffling. It's weird, right?
I think that's humorous, because I thought No Rest for the Wicked got like a push on Game Pass when it went early access, or I thought there was some kind of thing.
It's not running on Xbox. It's definitely not on early access on Xbox because it's not running yet.
Yeah, okay.
So but yeah, I find it it's an interesting move. My thing with that game is, yes, I'm a little like, I'm like, oh, it's the Ori team, but also whenever I look at it, I'm like, not to be a hater, but I'm like, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is one of the best looking video games of all time. Every screenshot I see of that video game, I'm like, my God, gorgeous. And then they go to something like this, and I'm like, I miss when you made pretty games a little bit. I'm like, this game looks fine, but like, look at
like
Ori.
Every time you look at a Naughty Dog game, you're like, I wish when you were fun.
Yeah, that's genuinely, it's the same thing where it's like, I wish you were as pretty as Ori was. In the same way, I'm like, oh, I wish you had actual gameplay, Naughty Dog. But yeah, other than that, it looks all right.
Yep. Next up was Onimusha Way of the Sword. There's a demo that I haven't got to check out yet, but
Samurai game number 1.
Yeah, Samurai game number 2. Since,
number 2, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, eager to check out the demo, see how the gameplay is translated over the years. But
yeah, it looks fine. I've got no comment on any of these Samurai games. They're all the same to me.
After that, Silent Hill Townfall coming out the day right before Onimusha.
Yep.
So, oh man,
looks interesting.
Townfall looks good though. I like the analog horror kind of thing they're doing with the messing with the thing. I think I said as much back when it got showed off at the other State of Play. I'm glad that it is indeed coming out this year.
Only nitpick I have is it's a game set entirely in Scotland, and to this day we have still not seen a single Scottish person in this video game. So what's up with that, Konami? That seems bizarre. Like, at least a side character or something. Can someone be Scottish in this Scottish town? Because that seems like a very weird omission, but because you could have just done Weird Fishing Town anywhere. Why? Very weird.
Yeah, I'm not really
weird.
Sure.
You could have done Fishing Village in the UK, or like in the UK, or like in any other part of the UK, like England or Wales or Northern Ireland. But it's like, No, it's this fishing village in Scotland, and there's not a single Scottish person there. I'm like, a bit weird, but
The weird thing is, I'm pretty sure the dev studio that's actually making the game, whatever their name is that I can't remember right now, is from Scotland.
You've got
so it's
no
like a
excuses then, guys.
self-omission.
You've got no
Yeah, it's
excuses.
weird.
This is a self-report.
Have they
right?
shown any characters besides the main dude?
No,
I'm,
like there's,
struggling to recall.
there's
Yeah,
like
so
a couple of
I
side
don't know.
characters, like a couple of bits and pieces. There's been no Scottish accents though in the entire video game, so I'm like, this is bizarre. Godspeed though.
But,
Silent Hill.
yeah. After that was Ace Combat, which I don't particularly care about.
The internet saw a pink-haired girl and went ballistic, and I was like, it doesn't matter how many pink-haired girls they put in that game, they cannot make me find airplanes interesting. Like, that gameplay is not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have your
Like,
wars,
the
internet.
thing about Ace Combat that I have come to know is that it has shockingly good music. Every time someone sends me something from Ace Combat's soundtrack, I'm like, okay, I'll give you this. You're like the Sonic series. The music at least is good.
The only thing that I found
But-
extremely hilarious was, and you'll get a kick out of this, you'll have a really good time with this one. People were comparing Ace Combat to, there was something else where Deborah Wilson was in it, and everyone was like, look at the Ace Combat girl versus Deborah Wilson in this. Why is she in everything? Just so you guys know, Deborah Wilson is in Ace Combat 8. You love to see it. Get in the book. Just like, you can't make it up. It's brilliant,
Idiots.
The culture war people will be stupid, and it'll always be funny.
They sure will. After Ace Combat was Stuntman Hollywood, which the internet really seemed to care
Apparently,
about.
it's like a
does
thing
nothing
from the
for me.
PS2 or something. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Just looked like it looked like an every
I
other
didn't
racing
ever have
game.
anything to do with it.
Yep.
Ill, a horror game being published by like what was that game called? Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
It's like under the Atomic Heart publishing umbrella.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
The zombies or whatever they are look Killing Floor-esque.
Yeah, they look very generic.
Yeah, it's not like it wasn't until the one like popped off at the end and was about to like face hugger the guy where I was like where I perked up a little bit, but
Yeah.
before then I'm like, yeah, this is just realistic. It's very realistically rendered, and the voice acting is out of the Resident Evil 1 playbook, but
Yeah, yeah, it was.
which I guess maybe serves to break the tension of how well rendered the game is to some extent, but I don't know. I feel like people can either tolerate that or they can't. I don't think that the goofy voice acting is really gonna get someone over the finish line there.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Yeah, this didn't really do much for me, but it's one of those things where when it comes out, what price it is, maybe I'll give it a shot. Yeah. Control Resonant coming also September 24th.
You know what? We'll double this up now. We'll talk about this now for Game Fest because it's also at Game Fest. This game coming earlier than I thought it would. I genuinely did think it wasn't going to make it this year, so fair play to
And me too. I thought
Remedy.
It was going to get delayed into the February black hole that is approaching.
But this game looks great. It looks really good.
Yeah, it does look real
and it's
good.
also a cheaper price again. So
yeah, it was $60. I was like, whoa, cool.
Godspeed. I hope it does well because it looks great.
Yeah, me too. Marathon, which we don't care about.
Nope.
The PS Plus lowdown.
That was awful. I want to put that. That's a war crime. That's a war crime. The fact that they
RuneScape Dragon Wilds
also a war crime.
Do not care.
I was talking to bless up to RuneScape fans, but most RuneScape fans are either addicted to RuneScape or like have nothing better to do or have no money. So the fact that they've made another RuneScape and they think anyone's going to play it when they're already, it's like making Drug 2, the sequel to Drug, and it's like, nah, they're already hooked on then no one's going to go, nah, I'd rather play Drug 2. No, we're just gonna stay to the original formula, mate. They didn't like the move to new RuneScape from old school RuneScape. You think they're gonna play side RuneScape? No, don't be daft.
Yeah, and then the classic catalog that they have on offer was Jitaro Man, which is some wacky rhythm game from the PS2.
Yeah, this is the war crime territory as well. These were actually shambolic.
Yeah.
That one's cool. The rest of them, oof.
Psyops the Mindgate Conspiracy. I own that. It's over there somewhere. Yeah, yeah, interesting. One of the first games with like cool telekinetic powers that I ever encountered, but as a whole game, I'm pretty sure this is the game that bankrupted Midway.
I said this while we were watching it, and you know they were showing these three games they announced. What was the third one, real quick?
Onimusha Dawn of Dreams,
Yeah.
which is the fourth Onimusha game when the third one is not readily available anywhere, so
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Stupid. But I'm just sitting there.
I have to assume that means that they're doing a remastered version of 3.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just at some point.
But I was sitting there. Yeah, with those three games. I'm just sitting there, and I just keep saying this every single time stuff like this comes up. And I'm just sitting there, and I'll just say random games, and I'll literally just sit there and I'll go, the entirety of the original Ratchet and Clank trilogy are not on this catalog. The entirety of I just go through Sony IPs, and I'm just like, you know, just list a bunch of Sony IPs, and it's just not there. And then they're just pulling out sure, there'll be a couple where you're like, oh cool, I have that game, you know, it's like this and that. I'm just like, there are big named PlayStation games from the PS1 and 2 that you have not touched with a 10-foot pole, and you're coming out with good fucking random rhythm games and shit. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, that's cool, but can we stop releasing one a month? You are not Nintendo. Stop doing this.
Yeah.
For the love of everything.
It is really silly, right? Like, I know that they have the God of War remake trilogy or whatever.
But God of War was
It's kind of crazy that neither of the PS2 God of War games are available. Or the PSP games for that matter.
That they redid Jak 1 in the new they did Jak 1 in the new emulator because the old emulator was terrible. They did that nearly 2 years ago, and they haven't done Jak 2, 3, or X in the new emulator. They're still on the old one that they've admitted was bad. And it's just like, my God, I'm so happy that they did Sly all in one bunch, because my God, that seems to be like a Hail Mary. Maybe they do love Sly, because you don't see that with anyone else. But I'm just, or even you're going out of your way to put these classics, like, oh, Disney's giving us this random stuff, but you can't go and just talk to Xbox, at least when Xbox was being a bit nicer, and go, listen, can we just put the original Crash and Spyro trilogies on there? Or
pretty please.
Yeah. Or just you know, or even just going to stupid things and going, hey, you know, I know you've done a remastered collection for this and this, but, you know, does it hurt to put these, you know, random games? Like, Bend made Bubsy 3D. Be just funny, wouldn't it? It's just one day go.
Of all the times to drop Bubsy 3D, now would be, or, you know, around now, maybe a few.
I know it's in collections before people say it, but it's just another way to play them.
Although maybe they're just holding on to that for a rainy day so that they can say that it's gonna happen, and then gamers across the world can act like Bubsy killed their grandma again.
But yeah, it just irks me that they spent all their time putting PSP stuff on, like Secret Agent Clank, but the original Ratchet trilogy is not able to be played on PS4 or 5. It's just like stuff like that annoys me, that God of War 1 and 2 are not able to be played. You can play 3 in remastered form, but 1 and 2 you cannot play, and it annoys me. And it's just like, fair enough, it's cute and quirky when they're sitting there and they're going, you know what everybody really wants? They really want every single one of fucking Ben's video games on the classics lineup. That's what the people want.
Ben isn't allowed to release new games, so
they can have all theirs on the classic collection. Yeah, that's fair. It baffles me, dude. It baffles me, and every year it just gets even stupider that there's people paying like $160 a year to get access to Guitar Hero, man, and you're just like, well, there you go,
it's
mate.
Insane.
Godspeed.
Like,
hope you loved
I dropped down, I dropped down to the middle tier as soon as the holdover from the PlayStation Now stacking expired, and anything that I want, I can just buy for the tenner that it is, you know.
Premium is genuinely a stupid lie. Like, genuinely, if you and I'm one of them that's still on premium because I got a deal last year, so I extended it for the price that it would have paid me for extra. But it is you're paying a stupid fee. You're just dumb if you buy, and I'm including myself in that. You're dumb, because what are you getting? You're getting 12 PS1 or 2 games a year, and, you know, ask yourself that question. You know, if you're paying like $5 extra a month, is the chance to play Guitar Man worth that $5 for that month? Because if it isn't, then the next one you're paying for is $10. Are you an Onimusha fan? No. Well, there's your one game for the month.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's really stupid.
Yeah,
Don't do
it's
it.
silly.
Anyway, rant over. Get to the point,
Yeah,
Hunter. Get to
after
the point.
this, Until Dawn 2, for a split second, I thought it looked like Horizon, like coming into the scenery.
That's funny.
And then I was like, no, it's not. Well, after the split second, I'm like, it wouldn't be anyway, because if it would be anything, it would be Hunter's Gathering, which doesn't look like the other ones.
Yeah. I'm a horrible person, Hunter. I am literally the spoiler of all fun. Like, I was joking with Kyle. I was like, my quirky trait at these at Game Awards as well, or at PlayStation State of Play is I'll tell you what the game is within the first 2 seconds because I've probably read about it or heard something online like 6 years ago. So I literally saw the PlayStation Studios logo, saw the Fire Sprite logo, and I was like, oh, it's Until Dawn 2. And you know what? For the first 90% of that trailer, if you weren't tuned in like I was, like to like hearing that they were working on that 3 years ago, you wouldn't have. There were a lot of people that watched that trailer and went, Until Dawn 2? That's an Until Dawn game? Like, you know, like, and then now
it started to get the vibe
the
of like, because, yeah, I guess I just forgot about this because I don't really care about Until Dawn.
I just remember hearing Fire Sprite were working on it like 3 years ago. And I was like, that's just
I'm sure I heard about it too, but it's one of those things that I just forgot. And yeah, like, as soon as it got there, I was like, oh, hey, it's Neil Newbon. And then after that, I was like, oh, it's starting to feel like one of those Dark Pictures games, or I think my head maybe even went to like some kind of Quantic Dream adjacent thing, which, you know, potato, really. I don't care about Until Dawn. The first one's whole premise never hooked me. I like horror games when they're horror games. Imitating slasher movies isn't really doing anything for me. And I tried one of the Dark Pictures games last year, and I didn't particularly enjoy it. So, like, I just don't think the structure of it is for me.
I know people love that original Until Dawn. I know people love the original Until Dawn. It is like the one of those. It's the reason why people kept buying Dark Pictures games that were terrible, is because they were like, yeah, but they made Until Dawn. And
yeah, like, it'll hit again eventually. And
I hope that Fire Sprite, but Fire Sprite's a decent team, you know. They made Call of the Mountain that was well received and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm hoping that, you know, in the same way that, you know, for better or for worse, people used to, you know, love or hate the remakes that you know, like Demon's Souls and stuff like that. But it's like, if hopefully they've taken the same lessons where that, you know, it's like you take your lessons, you look at the original and go, how can we make something that's faithful to the concept of this, you know? Where it's like Blue Point were, you know, whether you loved them or hated them, they did their research and they were like, how do we make this game this game? And I hope Fire Sprite almost did the same, where it's like, what's the essence of Until Dawn? How do we put that into a new story? And don't just go, let's make a generic slasher horror thing and just call it Until Dawn 2. I hope they kind of... It's not just everyone can live, everyone can die. That is not just what Until Dawn is. There's a lot of other stuff. You know, it's a bit like Life is Strange. You've got to get the writing right. It has to be cheesy to some extent. You know, you've got to find that balance of like, you've got to balance the ingredients to get it right.
Yeah, it's gotta be like the schlocky, you're not going to it for quality kind of thing.
It's got to be a bit trashy. It's got to be a bit Scream.
Yeah.
A little bit. But also not to the point where it's terrible. But
yeah, which is...
We'll see.
The trouble with the Dark Pictures games,
if that is one of the games for next year, though, and the other one is God of War, like, I can't keep doing this 2-year stuff. I can't do this 2 games a year thing, especially if it's an Until Dawn 2 as one of them.
Yeah, especially if this is... This feels like it can't count as one of those, you know?
I think, mate, if Astrobot and Saros can, then I feel like this can as well. Like, it's one of those smaller teams. I feel like it can do, but I digress. Anyway, what did we wrap it up with, Hunter?
Well, we wrapped it up with God of War Lao Fei, or I'm just going to call it God of War Fei going
God of War
forward.
Lao Fei. It is Lao Fei, I think. I think this is... Here's the thing, right? Is this game will be brilliant. The, like, surprise, it was a trilogy after all. I'm
I
not. Here's the thing: is I'm not mad because Corey's had this plan since the start. He's mentioned before that he's had plans for it, and there was a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, I thought that Faye would be a bit more involved in Ragnarok because of how much he was setting that up. And she was involved in Ragnarok, don't get me wrong, but I was always expecting a little bit more. You know, who blew the horn, all that jazz. I'm sure we'll find out all these answers in God of War Alpha. The funny thing about it is, though, it's coming out 9 years after the original, so it's like, hey, we're answering,
yeah,
all these questions where it's
yeah.
like, who blew the horn? You'll find out when you're a decade older. Like,
See, my mixed feelings about this aren't even about like what we saw in the actual content of the game present. Again, it's like the PlayStation malaise of it all, where if this had been revealed 2 years after God of War Ragnarok, it would have been much easier to make the peace with this being the next thing that happens.
Yeah.
Instead of like, it's been 4 years since God of War Ragnarok came out. By the time this game comes out, it will have been 5 or close to 5, depending on when in the year it is. And instead of feeling like the series is taking a new step forward, it's kind of shuffling to the side in the same part of the story.
I mean, what you've got to hope here, and this is what my hope is that it doesn't feel like a sidestep. And there's a part of me that's like, because again, there's a lot of theory crafting. We don't know how long this game, apparently the game is, as long as the other two. So it's like, we already know that it's like, it's a full substantial thing. It's interesting. I'm interested to see how it links. I'm also hoping that it's a bit more of a standalone story. I do think it's very funny.
Yeah.
The idea of us going through this whole grieving process while in the meantime she's in like fucking god hell fighting her way out of it.
I've been seeing
sick.
the memes about this all week, and they've been hysterical. The idea
everyone
that
is a genius.
First of all,
idea.
if I died and woke up and this started happening to me, I'd be so mad.
Yeah. Like I say, the everyone is a genius idea. I love it. I think it's an incredible concept. I think it's a brilliant way of introducing mythologies that have not been seen in God of War yet, so that when they eventually do bring them into Kratos' story, that, it hits even harder. I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think it's like everything that was actually present and shown here was really good.
Her gameplay looks really fun. The idea that you're having jump combos now and stuff like that.
She double jumped.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds into the trailer, I was like, whoa! The air combat, very good stuff. The ripping their soul from their body and stuff, all very cool.
I do feel like, I think that we're at the point now where I do see, and it's like, I know it's woman thingy, Jack Quaid or whatever, who's voicing the Cube and stuff like that, but I'm like, we're getting to that point now where I'm like, hey, millennial writers, it's time to get out of this rut that you're in. I'm done with this dialogue. This kind of dialogue, I'm kind of done with. It's time for a bit better. Like it's just very samey writing. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
He didn't seem to be like chiming in that much during the actual fighting.
Yeah,
which I think made it more tolerable for me. Like if Frank was dropping zingers when you kill people, I'd be a little more annoyed. But honestly, like the implications of the cube and the cube just existing, funny to me. He could be dialogueless. Like the ribbon could speak for him or whatever, and I think that
someone said it, and I hope it's true. Is someone was like, imagine if the sword's Excalibur, and I'm like, that
was like the first thing where I'm like, okay, mythical swords, Excalibur.
Well, I just the idea to me,
something about the way it looks feels almost like out of the Chinese kind of.
Yeah, vibe. I agree. But also, I think it'd be really interesting because
but like, who knows,
Well, yeah, but I love the idea of you have like Norse mythology and Greek mythology and Roman mythology and Chinese mythology. The idea is it's like, yeah, Arthur and like all the Arthurian legend and stuff like that is kind of like English mythology. I'd really love if they did classify that as in that kind of ballpark, because then it's just like, that's just stuff like that is just I'm like, that'd be really interesting take that I'd never
it's kind of like,
I'd even thought about God of War touching on stuff like that, but that's a cool idea. That
it's kind of like, that's why the implications of the cube are funny.
Yeah, where's the cube come from? Who are you?
Yeah, like it implies that D&D is like some kind of mythology or something, you know?
Or we just don't know enough about mythologies, and they found one where there's actually, there's a thing that's a
That's
part of it.
also possible. I won't rule that out, you know? But
But no, I think that this game's coming out next year from the sounds of it, which is
yeah,
good.
it seems
Once again,
like
congratulations, Santa Monica Studio. You have once again proven that you're more resourceful than Naughty Dog. You have made 2 video games now before in between.
they're 0.
Yeah.
Good job.
It looks great, but it's like, yeah, when God of War comes out, I'll play it, but I'm not chomping at the bit. I really hope. I don't know. There's also just a really, I don't think they will, and I think Corey had an intention with this game, and the fact that they started working on this while Ragnarok was in develop, he got another team to start working on Ragnarok, so he could start writing and spinning up this, has faith to me that it's like this is going to be some big plan, and it's going to be this really cool thing. But I'd really hate for it to just be this thing that's just like, and she fights her way out of hell and she's back, everybody, and the whole of 2018 was pointless.
I don't think it can be that.
But,
I don't it'd be like, if that's gonna happen, she might as well pick up Brock on the way or whatever, That'd
my guy.
Insane.
He's in Valhalla, dude. He's in Valhalla. We don't need to worry about him.
I don't think he went anywhere, unfortunately.
No, he went to Valhalla.
The problem with that
Valhalla. No, he went to Valhalla. I believe. But yeah, it looks good. I'll play it but again, I don't, and we're gonna shoot 20 minutes of gameplay. Thanks for the 15-minute cutscene, dude. You fucking weapons.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I needed the 20-minute, opening. I could have done more with like, show me a little bit more of what she'll be doing gameplay wise later in the game. Even
I think it's 2016 Glub Shitto kind of millennial core, where it's like they thought they were badasses when they put the start screen, the press X to start. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, fucking been here, done that. It's the same playbook, bro. Get a new playbook.
Yeah, you copied the homework from the other time.
Yeah,
the other time constructed it to show better that way,
Yeah, it's like, you've done this before. You've done the same playbook. I'm like, get a new playbook, guys.
Also, you should have cut yourself off before the boss if you were gonna do that.
Yeah. But no,
I'm gonna get to the end of that because it's gonna come out next year. I'm gonna be like, well, get me through this part I already saw.
But no, it's cool, and I do want to say the one thing I do want to respect them for is it's an interesting. The idea that it's happening at the same time as the other two is interesting to me. I think that's a cool concept because when Corey and I can't remember what her name is, the game director on the project. Yeah, Ariel.
I think
in the interview they were like, we were just toying whether we tell it as a prequel or we do something more interesting. And we were like, this seems like a more interesting thing, and I'm like, that's actually is a more interesting thing. If it was just us playing her walking the path that Kratos and Atreus eventually walk on, boring. The fact that it's going to God hell and fighting your way out of it and trying to figure out what her original plan is and intent, I'm like, that's actually really interesting. It's almost happening simultaneously. Yeah. That's cool. I like that. Timey-wimey stuff onto timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah. I've already seen things about people trying to line up when the Kratos showing up to her in the thing happened. I mean, like, that'll be fun to watch people more dedicated than me do that, a month after the game comes out.
Totally. Anyway, we need to wrap it up, Hunter. We're already running.
Yeah, that's all for the state of play.
Wow, it truly was a state of play. But you know what comes after a state of play? Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, which was, for the most part, a very good show for Jeff. I'm very proud, Jeff. Good job. There was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's better than a lot of his shows have been in the past couple of years.
Yeah, totally.
Honestly, this is one where I think if someone were to force him to do something with the time limit that a state of play gets, and the best of his material here was what he had, that would be a really good show. It still had the saggy middle that you always never really need, but the good stuff was really good.
I think he had a solid 80, 90 minutes here. There was about 30, 40 that you probably could have cut out of it.
Yeah.
But that's good for Jeff, because usually it's an hour or an hour and 15 that you could cut out.
Yeah.
That's good for him. Only one anime Wuthering Waves. No Genshin, no Honkai. The bag is dead. Godspeed. But yeah, I think for the most part, this is really, especially the start, the first like half an hour, 40 minutes,
Yeah, the first
very
beginning.
strong.
Yeah, the beginning was really solid.
Run us through the hits, Hunter.
Yeah, started off with Resident Evil Veronica.
Shock.
No code in the subtitle anymore, but that's fine. Cool.
I love how it's
Um,
called in Japanese. It's called Biohazard Re Veronica,
yeah, that
which
is funny.
is just I'm just like, it's funny that it's like it's not. Yeah.
I had a fun time looking at this for the first 10 to 30 seconds, being like, okay, it's seemingly in first person.
Which it isn't, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. So I was sitting there going, this definitely looks like the RE engine. It
Yeah.
was. It looked like it was in first person.
Mm.
Is this the DLC? Was my thought. And then she said something about brother, and then I saw like Claire's sleeve when it moved. I'm like, okay, here we are. This
Yeah.
is just like before she landed on the island that the game actually happens on. So a little bit of added context to get there, I suppose. But it looks like it'll be good. Might be eager. I'm eager to see them hopefully improve what Code Veronica was, because Code Veronica, of the games that I've played in Resident Evil, is on like the bottom half as it currently exists.
As far as I've heard from the rumor mill, this is the remake that they have changed the most. So
Yeah, which
makes
reasonable
sense.
to do. I think that you can. There's a lot that can be changed to be better.
Yeah.
I think, like, of all of the games I've been saying since they started this whole endeavor, Code Veronica could really use one.
Mm-hmm. Totally. But yeah, looks solid. Obviously, Resident Evil's on a big swing at the moment, so hopefully that step continues. It's also going to be interesting how they fit in everything with the fact that they haven't put a date on it. It is just 2027. Screams to me that this is not going to fall into your usual Resi
Resident
January,
Evil spot.
February. I think it's gonna.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna fall later, which is fine. But maybe that gives it.
yeah, which is fine.
Maybe that gives the Requiem DLC a chance to come out in that
Yeah,
January spot.
they never land here, but I think Resident Evil would be a really solid spot for a summer game.
Mm. Yeah, I think you could put
You know?
Resident Evil anywhere now at the moment. Also, with the
Yeah, that's also true. It could go
remakes are different.
anywhere.
Remakes are different
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, the mainline entries are the ones that usually sell like a bajillion copies. These remakes, obviously, they do really well, but you'll notice that it's like Requiem sold gangbusters in its first week. Resident Evil 4 remake did well, but it just keeps growing and growing. The remakes are like evergreen games where it's like
yeah.
so are the new ones, but you know, the new ones, because everybody hasn't played it, it's like it's a big hit at the start, whereas like remakes are like you'll get people who have played the original Resident Evil 4 and will wait like 6-12 months and will eventually pick it up. Like it trickles in.
A valid strategy, because usually the Resident Evil games go real cheap
Yeah,
within a
it's
year.
valid. I respect it. I respect the hustle. Anyway, next up was Cuphead, right? We had a couple of Cuphead
Yeah,
announcements.
next up was Cuphead. They're making a new hand-drawn animated thing coming
Cuphead 2.
later, and then they had the mighty Cuphead Adventure World, which is some
Like 18-bit,
2D,
like 18-bit,
yeah,
8-bit
2,
platformer.
2D
platformer.
arcadey looking 2D platformer, which, you know, having them do one that's like dedicated to doing that kind of thing, probably cool, since I didn't really care much for the run and gun levels in actual Cuphead.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this feels like it's just kind of. This feels like they didn't really want to make these, but they felt like they had to after people started poo pooing that it was going to be just bosses.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, right? I think that, you know, the 8-bit one will probably come out first and it'll kind of tie people
Yeah,
over.
yeah, almost certainly.
Because Cuphead 2, I really hope that they, you know, I assume they started work on it after the Delicious Last Course. But
I
the
would
way that
assume
these
so.
games take, these take forever to make, especially with
It took
hand-drawn
a
animation.
long time to make the first
So,
one.
yeah, give them some chance. It gives them a bit of a breathing gap so that they can cook a bit more
Yeah.
on it, which is fine by me. But yeah, pretty cool. Next.
Alien Isolation 2, which seems to be taking place somewhere on some kind of crashed planet of some description. So
Another one
yeah.
that I guessed within 2 seconds, and I was like, yeah, that's Alien Isolation 2. And then I just walked away, and then I came back at the end because I needed to. I don't remember. I think I was like, I'll go grab a drink. I was like, this is Alien Isolation 2, and I went to grab a drink, and I came back and I saw the logo come up, and I was like, nailed that one, mate. One visual shot. I didn't even see the. I rewatched the trailer later so I could catch up on it, and it did like the sting of all the development, like it's like 20th century. I didn't even see 20th century. It's like Alien, and then walked away. I was like, I'm on it, dude. I'm in their head. I'm on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks good.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be good. People love Alien Isolation, so there are so many people that are jazzed to get a new one. After that was Gen Atlas, which is what previously known as Project Robot. Yeah. It essentially looks like Shadow of the Colossus with robots.
Oh, the Colossus. Yeah.
But also you get to play as the Colossus sometimes.
Yeah, so it looks...
I'm interested to see what he does.
It looks interesting. Obviously, you could tell it's still ages away because the performance of it was rough as anything, but it's cool to see these games when they're in early dev. I'd rather they do that than they show fake gameplay.
Yeah. Next up was Blood Message, which is the first one I kind of walked away to start cleaning my room. So I was like, okay.
This is the first one. There's another Samurai Souls game. I don't have anything to say about these other than wow, so many people had the same idea at the exact same time, Yeah. Looks fine.
Stranger Than Heaven got a date after that. It will be coming out on
Dude, Stranger Than Heaven and not Onimusha. What's the word? Phantom Blade Zero are getting to thingy level now. They're getting to Deathloop levels where I'm like, I've seen enough of you, just release and go away. Not because I don't want to play them, but just because I'm like, my goodness, you don't have to be everywhere. Stranger Than Heaven has had like 17 trailers.
Stranger Than Heaven has had one of those descending hype streaks for me every time.
Especially since they announced it was a Yakuza prequel. Since they've done that, now I'm like, oh, so it is just another Yakuza game.
Substantially less interesting now that it's done that.
It's still a cool concept, though. Playing a character over 5 decades is still a cool concept, which
it is cool. I won't deny, but
it's a cool concept. Also, it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Snoop Dogg was weird. Bringing Tupac back. What are we doing? Like, it's a very weird thing. And Snoop Dogg was like, me and the estate of, me and Tupac's estate were like, this sounds cool. I'm like, whatever. But it's just like, it's a very Sega thing to do. It's a very Sega thing. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, release the game. See you in January. Whatever. Take that Yakuza 8 date that you usually have in January. Godspeed, mate.
Yeah. After that was quite a few things that I didn't really care to pay much attention to. Hex, Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight had the most weird trailer where they announced nothing, just our anniversary's next week. I'm like, good for you, boo. Have a great time.
Yeah, it was bizarre because I thought they were just going to be like, well, hey, we got Jason. Come play or whatever.
The rumor is they're announcing a second chapter. That there's Jason and then there's another licensed IP that's coming afterwards because it's the 10th anniversary, so they kind of want to do a double dip. From the looks of it, I don't know. I was trying to
feel like you need to do they have Pinhead yet?
Pinhead, they did have Pinhead. He's
okay.
He's gone now, I think. Is Pinhead?
He's gone now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a Hellraiser game that's came out or was coming out, so he had to. They delisted. They thought they could go on their own. He'll be back eventually.
Stupid.
They all go back to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, they all come back because
I
can't wait for Michael Myers to disappear for 6 months.
He has. He's gone. He's already gone. Godspeed.
Yeah, he's gone. Okay, well he'll be back he'll be back at 2 years max.
Yeah. If I was a betting man based on all that stuff, those balloons and like disfigured stuff, my guess would be it. That'd be my guess. Yeah, that's my guess. If you want my 2 cents on Dead by Daylight in 2026.
They should stop being cowards and they should go super classic. Bring in Frankenstein and the Wolfman.
No, that'd be sick. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'd say this as a suggestion for a game that they could do this. Yeah, they could do that, and I will still never look at it.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Next.
After that, where was I? Mortal Shell 2. Don't really care about.
I peed during that one.
Yeah. Sand Raiders of Sophie. Whatever this is, I think I just went into a fugue state for that one because I don't
giggled
remember
because
it
I didn't
all.
read the rest of it. And I was like, "Who calls their game Sand?" And I didn't even read the rest of the title. I just thought it was called
the prequel to
Sand,
Sandland.
Yeah, dude. Before Dune, there was Sand.
Yeah. The next one of consequence was Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Got a
Can't wait.
trailer that looked pretty solid.
Yeah, I can't wait. They
Yeah.
got Woodkid, our Lord and Savior, to do a remix of "Leave Her Johnny," and I was like, that's kind of fire. Actually, to be honest, it reminded me a lot of the Revelations trailer. I was like, that's pretty good, actually.
Oh yeah.
We love a bit of Woodkid in this house.
Yeah.
Go on. Next.
Following that was, oh man, they really got me. They really got me showing Platinum.
Oh yeah, back to the mines.
And their accolades there for a second, and then they kept hanging on the manhole, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be another Ninja Turtles game.
Do you know what I said? And this is very like, I want to apologize for this because I might be offending a chunk of the audience or whatever. They need to stop making video games for 40-year-olds. No one cares about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm sorry. If you care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you probably have arthritis. It's time to leave it. Pack it in. It's just like, I agree. I'm like, who, like, when people are talking about that gaming's having problems with an aging demographic, this is what I'm talking about, where it's like you're focusing still on millennials, and it's like, that's fair, that's good, but it's like, I don't care, and I'm like the top of Gen Z. So if I don't care, I know no one below me is going to care. Yeah. Because, so it's like, why are we doing this? Like even if it's a Platinum money grab, you know, and Platinum's like, gimme some money.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh man, this really is just one of those pay the bills kind of things. Cause
I just sit there and I'm like,
it was Ninja Gaiden was the last one.
Who cares? Like, genuinely, find me someone under the age of 30 that cares, please. You're not gonna find them. You're just not. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And like, I certainly, like, I'm sure there will be some nerd trying to be like, oh, but it's the gritty, like, there's only one of them left, whichever one it is. I don't even know.
It's Raphael, I think, or is it Mikey? No, it's Mikey. I think it's Mikey. I don't remember.
Oh, they made the party one gritty.
Yeah, Congrats. The Last Ronin. No, I think, are we getting it mixed up? The Last Ronin. Why am I looking this up? I don't care.
Like, I've heard people bandy the name of this story around, trying to like say that it's like real good or
The Last Ronin Witch Turtle.
Shrug.
It is Mikey. Like, it is Mikey.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I guess I'm glad that they broke out of the classic Ninja Turtles story that seems to be the only one they know how to do is Leonardo's the leader and Raphael it's not a team player.
That's a spoiler for the end of the first issue, so I'm sorry if I spoiled that for anybody under the age of 30, but you don't care anyway because you're not buying it. Stop it. Yeah. Like, genuinely, this is what, like, Millennial Dial. It's time to move on, okay?
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop, bro. Gen Z's hitting 30 soon. I know, because I'm a part of it. But please, it's time to stop. It's crazy. It is mental. It's like how we keep getting nostalgia baits that are for 8-bit games, bro. Start doing some goofy-ass PS1 stuff, please. And PS2. Where are my PS2 revivals? Please. Where are they? I'm nearly 30. Carry on.
Next up was Gundam Rogue Orbit, which tricked me into believing it was an Armored Core.
Hell yeah, high five on that one. We failed that one.
Which I was like, it's really fast for this to be happening. I feel. Like, I was like, I would not have guessed in a million years that we'd get 2 Armored Core games before they do the next iteration of what they do for Souls. Fun, but, you know, yeah, it looks like it is essentially Armored Core, but with the Gundam license and a little faster and probably easier, you know? So if you like Gundam and you want something to play that it probably hits the fantasy really well.
Totally.
For people who are into it. After that, we got a Rogue trailer from the upcoming Nintendo Direct with an extremely hard game. It made its way into this show.
I think what's really funny is you were like, "Oh, Nintendo really did Jeff dirty." I think the second montage was even worse. That was the funny part. Was the second montage? I was like, "No, that's doing him dirty." Was 3 third-party games that I've never heard of, and if I've not heard of them, no one else has. That is them doing Jeff dirty. God bless him though. I love that they still support him in this terrible way because these kinds of ads, that means they're paying him for it. So there's still a, like, you know, they're not doing that for free. So it's just weird. Yeah, it's just a weird relationship.
It was just funny because because it was another thing where I wasn't paying attention for the past minute or so, and then I saw that there was a Nintendo sizzle reel happening. I'm like, I guess that is the one better thing that they could do to shaft him than the remaster, whatever it was that you posed.
Oh well.
But
moving on.
Next was Crossfire, which is from former devs of like Naughty Dog and
Naughty Dog Infinity Ward. One thing I'll say about this is the name sucks, but
the name does suck.
It's been such a long time since you've had an actual first or third person shooter that has an actual narrative that isn't just kind of extremely boring war propaganda, that I'm kind of like, oh, okay, you're doing something a bit interesting here.
I'll give them credit for this. I wasn't into it at the beginning, and the longer it went on, the more I'm like, okay, be interested.
It was leaning more, not, and I do not quote me on this. It was leaning more away from modern Call of Duty, and it was giving me a bit more of a either older Call of Duty or more towards those kind of Battlefield Bad Company, Spec Ops The Line, kind of more interesting narratives.
They might have there's the possibility that they have something to say.
That there might be a bit more bite to it than just America's great or the Allied powers are great.
Just
like,
propaganda. But we got the second Control trailer of the week after that.
Yeah, looks good.
So still looks good as it did on Tuesday. Guild Wars 3 was the next thing that they showed.
It's pretty cool. I'm like, it's been like 14 years, so fair play. If you're a Guild Wars fan, Godspeed.
Hope you have a good time. I hope you like it. Star Wars Galactic Racer.
My one for this is it looks too good. I think every Star Wars game should have a hint of jank. Every Star Wars game looks like it should have been able to have run on the PS2, and this one doesn't, and that kind of concerns me a little bit. That's my kind of... Even like Jedi. Like, Jedi Survivor's fantastic, but it always has a bit of jank where a character model looks like ass or the planet looks shit. And you're just like, there's always a little bit to it where
enemies despawned.
There's always it looks a bit too photorealistic for me. The later one, the later Star Wars one, I was like, oh, that looks like it could be a bit PS2-y. It looks a bit like more Star Warsy to me.
Jedi, the only thing that was photorealistic is Cal's hair to a distracting degree.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks. If you're into it, you're into it. I'm not into Star Wars that much, bro. So Godspeed.
Yeah. I don't care about the pod racer game. So
I'll say this: if you're a pod racing fan, you've looked out more than Harry Potter fans did with that crappy Quidditch game. You know what I mean? A spin-off's go, it actually looks rather decent, so I hope it's really good, and I hope you have a great time when it comes out. When, Hunter?
This one comes out October 6th.
The 6th week of September, because the games keep going. No, it just made me laugh because it was like, that one's not in. That was the first time where it was like October. I was like, someone's figured out there's a month between September and November. Someone's figured it out. There you go.
Yeah, someone did, but it's also like just the week after the
same as Rayman.
onslaught.
Rayman's like October 1st. I'm like, Rayman, no, you need some breathing room. Anyway.
After that was End of Abyss, which is I think it was like one of the only things I found interesting about his last year's show, indie horror game that looks kind of cool. Not much to say beyond that.
I said to Kyle, I was like, this looks like a Hunter game, and he said, but it said Epic Games Store, and I said, don't worry, they only segregate from Steam. They'll still be on PS5. Then I saw a PS5 logo at the end of it. I went, there you go, it's a Hunter game. I told you. But yeah, it looked interesting. Not for me, but I could see it being a vibe.
Yeah. After that was Last Harbor, which I don't remember anything about.
It looked like Dredge. It looked a very kind of like it looked like Raft and Dredge and all that.
Yeah, it looked like Dredge, but in like third person or whatever. Yeah, or first person rather.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. After that was a showing for Virtua Fighter Crossroad, which
Virtua Fighter 6. Yeah, it looks pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah. I've never played a Virtua Fighter thing, but it looked like they were from what they were showing there, it looked like they kind of had something like
Let them cook. It looks good.
Street Fighter World Tour thing going on, and I thought the Street Fighter World Tour mode was silly fun when I played.
And it's made by RGG, which, as we all know, with Yakuza, they make fun combat, so I'm sure this is going to be fantastic.
So I'd be down to maybe give this a shot.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Uh, they showed RuneScape again.
Yeah,
I must have I must have ignored that.
yeah,
But all
no, it's
right.
for the best. Do this for the best. The Men in Black came round and were like, "You will not remember
Yeah.
RuneScape being here twice."
Then there was a showing, a very fast showing for Adventures of Elliot and Orbitals.
Yep.
Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. Got nothing.
Keep
to
moving,
go.
mate. Keep moving. Where's the content?
Yeah.
Where's the content?
Soulframe Preludes, which is some kind of Grounded 2, got a
It's games as a
announcement for
service.
PlayStation.
Yeah, it's a game, and it's a games as a service thing as well. It's an update. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's on. It's on.
Mafia
It's on Prime. It's on
DLC.
Plus. If you care to play the original Grounded, it's on Plus. This month, or was it last month? It was one of the months. Can't remember.
I think the next one that actually made me stop and pay attention was 1666 Amsterdam.
Yeah, I thought this was wild because it's the creator of Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, it was bizarre to me that he was doing Hexe around the same time Hexe. Like I'm like, oh, you're doing like cats and witches and myth, like that kind of vibe at the same time that Hexe is about to do that. I'm like, that's a weird coincidence, but Godspeed. It looks rather
It is
relatively
funny.
interesting.
It looks cool.
Early access though, I'm like,
Yeah, early access, only on PC. It looks like.
For a single player thing, I'm like,
Yeah.
It did give me, with the way that the CGs looked and the way the characters looked, it did give me old Assassin's Creed vibes though, which is kind of what you want. Where it was like, this looks like Assassin's Creed pre-RPG, and I mean that in a good way, not the actual lip syncing and actual performances instead of quantity over quality like the modern Assassin's Creeds are. So
yeah,
fingers crossed for him. I love the original Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2, so fingers crossed.
Bloober appears to be making a Saw game.
Yeah, God help him. That means the pig or whatever from Dead by Daylight is going to go into 2-year coma. What a dire time for Dead by Daylight. They're going to have a year where like a load of the third parties are like, we're making our own 3v1 horror game.
Okay, first of all, if you still play Dead by Daylight, seek help. But if you main the pig,
there is a number.
Seek help.
Yeah, to be fair, Pig has constantly been one of the worst characters in Dead by Daylight ever. So fair play. If you do main her, Godspeed, because that is like genuinely playing with it's like people who play Trapper, mate. Like, just don't bother. Like, you're already in the mines, and you're like, you're purposely eating rocks. It's like, what are you doing? Like no.
Lords of the Fallen 2 looks as sauceless as its previous game, which is,
it's also a lie. It's technically the third one.
Lords of the Fallen 3, because Lords of the Fallen was Lords of the Fallen 2, because it came after Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, it was Lord of the Fallen, and then it was Lords of the Fallen. Now it's Lords of the Fallen 2, and now it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's
stupid. It's stupid. Also, that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure the director has shown himself to be a moron.
Yeah.
So, I don't care.
Bin for you, good sir. Smiley face.
Star Wars Zero Company.
Yeah, it looked a bit more like a PS2 game. That looks like I was like, yeah, fair. But also, tactics game couldn't pay me.
I got nothing on that.
Godspeed, though.
Blood of the Dawnwalker was next, and this is the first time that this game has trailered in a way that made me interested in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, I think the idea that there's a point where it gets slingshotted into the modern day is what kind of fascinated me about it, because I thought it was just going to be stuck in like the, medieval era or whatever, but that means there's some kind of twist to it that I might be more agreeable to. It's also coming out in the beginning of September and is going to be extremely long, so I am going to be, this might be my holiday game if I'm feeling it.
I'll put money on. I'll put money on this game being delayed again. Like, that's how confident. It was supposed to be originally in January, mate. Like this.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pulled again. Not even if it might be done. This might be one of those ones where I'm like, listen, maybe get out of here just a little bit.
It's crowded.
It's crowded.
Let's
just do yourself a favor.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've been like, oh, this actually looks kind of cool.
I remember seeing it. I was like, I thought this came out, and I didn't realize it got delayed out of January this year. So I was like, oh.
At the beginning, I was like, this looks like it's Vampire the Masquerade, but it
Yeah,
looks
that's
too
what I
good to be
thought originally.
Vampire the
Yeah.
Masquerade because the one of those that just came out was, like middle shelf
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah. The usual. Yeah.
Yeah. The Among Us story mystery game was an interesting thing to
Like a little Ace
witness.
Attorney, little mini like
Yeah,
detective mystery thing. Like I was
that's
like, that's
fun
cute.
and silly.
That's cute.
I'll be interested to see that whenever it shows up again.
And the TV series dropped in today on Paramount Plus. If you care to watch a TV show about Among Us, Godspeed.
Yeah,
You have to have Paramount Plus though. That's a pretty huge blockade for most people.
that is. 007 is getting a story mission.
Godspeed.
Yeah, good for them.
Yep, good game.
Final Fantasy 14 got a thing. Turok Origins got a showing.
Nice.
It will be released in autumn. That's nice, I suppose.
Whoop.
Turok doesn't really look like Turok so
No.
much. In a way that, like, I was hoping that there would be more personality about it.
Yeah,
But
it just kind of looks. It looks
like,
very generic.
It looks generic, but with dinosaurs,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel it.
mild bummer there.
Yep.
Armistice is something that went in one ear and out the other,
Don't care.
along
Just
with
skip.
Ion 2. The Wow. Yeah, this was the part where I just zoned out
Just
for
keep
a while.
skipping, Hunter. Skip, 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 skip. I've got a train. Get that ball moving. He's looking confused, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not watching the video podcast, he's looking confused.
No. The next thing of consequence was Wolf Among Us.
And I went for a pee. I was so annoyed. I came back and I saw a logo and I was like, no shot have I been waiting for this game for 4 years. And I come back and I've missed the trailer. It's good to know that, Kingdom Hearts fans can sit with Wolf Among Us fans and know that they'll just keep seeing a new year. Like Wolf Among Us fans, it's like I remember when that first trailer said like 2022. And now it's like 2027. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
At least, hey, I'll replay the remastered version because that's fun. And that will probably be out this holiday. So that's fun. But I'm glad to see that it's still being worked on. That's my main thing, is I'd kind of assumed that all hope had been lost and that it was dead. So the fact that it isn't is nice. I think it'll probably come out, to be honest. They showed quite a bit. They showed quite a bit of gameplay. It looks like they've at least got a studio working on it now. Which is fun. Will it be as good as the first one though? I don't know. That first one's so good. Like, my goodness.
After that was Stellar Blade Blood Rain, which I spent a solid minute being like, this looks like Stellar Blade, but that's not Eve, so who knows?
All I remember was just like, this is shift up. And Cal was like, how can you tell? And I'm like, because she's wearing like a cape thing and I can still see her butt through it, which means it's a shift up production, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the way they design their characters.
I mean, the combat looked fun and it looked like an interesting.
Yeah, the combat does look cool. I like this lady's more punchy style. I think that does a lot to set it apart from Eve in the other game. Looked like any other kind of fighter. Really, she didn't have much of a moveset that felt unique to her. But this lady looks all right as far as combat style.
Yeah.
If they could have characters that aren't annoying, would be a great boon to me when I play this game, because
miracles can happen.
Most of the cast in Stellar Blade was inoffensive at best.
At least, and again,
aggravating at worst.
Things can change. The voices that I heard for the main character sounded all right from the little bits that we heard.
Yeah.
Obviously, things can change, and it could be very early in development, but
yeah, naturally. But honestly, wasn't expecting to see a follow up to this so quickly. Yeah. So good for them.
Enough. I'll get to Stellar Blade eventually. At some point.
Yeah.
I own it. I should, but
yeah. After that, Street Fighter announced its next round of DLC characters.
Yeah.
Yasmin, Bosch, and Arjun, along with Tifa from Final Fantasy VII.
It was at this point that I knew that Final Fantasy was the last thing. I was
Yeah, as
like,
if we didn't know
yeah, as if
already,
we didn't
but
know already. But I was like, yeah, that's a lock. I think it's interesting because they announced 3 new characters and then Tifa, and then they were like, and now let's just only talk about Tifa and then walk away. I was like, fair enough. Um, it's been leaked for a while that Tifa was going to be in year 4. I know that there are people who are annoyed because of they wanted them in a different fighting game and all this jazz, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if the Tekken fans are just eating themselves alive right
I'd be
now.
annoyed. I'd be annoyed if you were fighting for Tifa to be in Tekken for that long and then it ends up being Street Fighter. It'd be a bit annoying. But
Why'd you give us Clive?
yeah, well, yeah, Joshua. Um,
Joshua.
but it is what it is. Yeah, and it led into the final announcement.
I find it funny that they had him leave the stage just to bring him back.
You had to do it. You had to do it. I knew that's what they're doing. I said to Cal, like, they don't bring him over here for a fighter's
For
pass
a
for
Street
for
Fighter
another
thing, yeah.
company's thing. Like, yeah, get in the bin.
But yeah, the final announcement was, as we have been saying since well before the beginning of the year,
2024. Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Part 3, Final Fantasy VII Revelation
Yes.
is the name, which is much better than Return.
Honestly, if it was
Wha-
called Return, I was gonna headbutt my desk. Like, I genuinely was gonna headbutt my desk. So, like, it doesn't. It's like remake, rebirth, and revelation sound better than return. Um, Revelation. It's weird because whenever I've heard revelations in a title for anything video games, it's always as a plural. It's always revelations, not revelation. So
yeah,
it's going to get weird. So I apologize for the months that you're going to hear me on this podcast accidentally call it Final Fantasy VII Revelations, because it's just going to happen. There's a zombies map called Revelations. There's a lot of things called Revelations, right? So
yeah,
it's going to happen. But I mean, it's by the book, right? The logo's blue. We all knew the logo would be blue because they kind of gave that away when Rebirth happened. It's like, in terms of the actual gameplay, they said a lot without showing too much, which I was like, for Square, that's kind of impressive because a lot of the stuff they
yeah.
showed was gameplay and not cutscenes, which I'm really appreciative of. It seems like they are trying to restrain themselves a little bit on cutscenes there. Um, I remember when they started off the Rebirth stuff, they basically just showed us all the cutscenes that were from like the first hour of the game. They were basically just like, here you go, look,
Sure
here's this
did,
and this.
yeah.
And no snowboarding in sight just yet. They're keeping that a secret, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, keeping us on the hook for that one. Where's Queen's Blood, you cowards?
Oh, it will be that. It'll be back. I know it. I know it. I like the Fortnite diving into the map. I'm gonna be very much looking forward to
I'm
seeing
glad
how
that's
that
where
runs on
your
Switch
head
too.
went. I went to Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's just because you're in a massive like blimp thing. So I was like battle bus. Like I instantly, unfortunately, went to battle bus, especially because we'd had Ben Starr come in earlier and go Fortnite, Fortnite, and I'm like, yes, Ben Starr, I agree. Joshua, I am actually like brain dead. I digress. But yeah, it's like but it's like I think it's interesting because you're going to introduce the Highwind, and it's like it's going to be interesting to see how open the map is because Rebirth it unlocked chunk by chunk,
Yeah.
and it's going to be interesting because they haven't spoke about how big the game is yet. Because my assumption is, and my hope is that the whole of the original map from Rebirth is in this game, and you can go back. That's my hope. If you
You
get
would
the
think
high wing and you
so.
can jump in, I want to dive into Gungaga and hear those bongos going. You know what I mean? Like straight
It
back.
would be kind of awkward if you could only go to certain places, because they did say in the thing, like the outskirts of Midgar
Mm-hmm.
down to, and then they gave the examples of new places. It'd be weird if like you could go to Midgar, but then like you couldn't
I'm
go to
also
Gungaga.
interested.
That'd be
Like,
bizarre.
I'm going to be interested how much of Midgar we get. How
Yeah.
much of how much we get of everything, because there's a lot of areas. There are a lot of areas in Part 3, depending on how much you know about the remaining parts of Final Fantasy VII that we have to do. There are a lot of new places still. There are a
Yeah.
couple of old places that we go back to, but there are also places that are in that rebirth map that realistically you don't have a reason to go back to, really. So it's going to be interesting to see if they. I'm really hoping that everything is there, and it's just there's side content here now, and we've made it, so
Yeah.
we've populated it with more Queen's Blood and content
More Queen's Blood.
and more side quests, like Golden Saucer and stuff like that. It's like, I know we're gonna go back to the Golden Saucer, but also, is it gonna be as filled with stuff as it was the first time round? Is it just gonna be the old stuff that you can play again if you want? Are we gonna completely do some new stuff? I hope it's like. I'm glad they didn't show too much. They've shown some gameplay of Sid and Vincent, and they've shown some basic gameplay principles. And here's places that you will be going to, here's Wu Tai, and I'm like little. But again, it was only little glimpses, not like
Yeah. I
enough.
think the most interesting nugget, as far as just things that got my attention, was the apparently class costumes or whatever.
That's sick. It's taken 3 times.
Yeah.
It's taken 3 games to get costumes, but yeah, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. I think it's again, they're holding their cards close, which I think's good. I don't want Square Enix to give too much away. I think with Rebirth they were getting very close to showing too much. So I'm hoping it's the same. They showed I knew they were showing a lot of restraint when there's not a single glimpse of Zack or Aerith, which I'm like, okay,
yeah,
definitely showing restraint.
there. I'm like, that's
which is good. I did joke with Kyle that I was like, these poor Switch 2 and Xbox people who have just got the game 2 days ago have started playing it, then see a trailer and they go, why is one of the characters missing? If they don't know any of what's happened. God rest their souls. I feel bad for them, but don't watch trailers for a game you're currently playing, I guess, for the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the game looks fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not that excited because I knew it was coming and I knew it was going to release in spring 2027. So there's nothing too much. Like they didn't give me any.
It's one of those things where it's like there's no new information, but it's nice to know that it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Like if it had been missing, that would be alarming.
Yeah.
It would also be the most confidently wrong I've ever been about anything, I think.
And I think what's beautiful about it is, again, they haven't shown too much. So I'm not that excited because they haven't shown too much, which is good. They've shown a couple of the weapon fight. They've shown a weapon fight and they've shown little bits and pieces and a couple of bits of banter between, but no major plot points or anything like that.
Yeah. Vincent got a really sick line about, I'll go back in my coffin when Sephiroth is in his. I was like, bars.
But even when they're explaining the story so far and there's a comet in the sky and stuff like that. And I'm like, even then it's basic principles. It's basic stuff.
Yeah.
And even then it's again, it's little bits and pieces where it's it's not too bad. And I'm really happy that they're not doing that. It also is interesting because it's how much is actually changing? What do you mean by each character has revelations and there's new story added for each of the characters so they all fit in collisions? I'm like, I'm interested. I'm very much interested, and I really hope, Square, that you don't tell us all these. I'm not asking, these are hypothetical questions that I'm asking myself, in the same way that for God of War, we're asking, so if she's been everyone's theorizing where she's the everyone and stuff like that. It's is Kratos, when Kratos was temporarily killed by Thor, is that why there was the vision of him in the everyone? People are theorizing and you're doing all these hypotheticals. I'm doing the same with this, but I don't want the answers. Don't, for the love of God, tell me, Square. Please don't.
Yeah.
Because it's cool.
Pretty much the only information going forward I want about this is the specific day that it comes out.
Which
is probably going to be at the Game Awards.
Here's my theory. I still think, because they put spring, I really think they're still aiming to try and get it as close to the 30th as they can. But they're in my head, I think that it's they're looking that I still think they're aiming for February, but I think it's maybe March, April. I think that it's this could be one where I think the reason they've not put the date down is because it's coming in a bit hotter than they anticipated. Because Rebirth at this point we already had the release date for. Yeah. So I think it's coming in hot. I think they're trying to get it as close to the 30th as they possibly can. I'm guessing March. My guess is March, if I'm honest.
What
if I'm
I
betting
told you that April 1st was on a Thursday?
Oh, for God's sake. I hope not. That sounds
that'd
funny
be
though.
that'd be a great time to release this game.
Yeah, it would.
It'd be as comedically on brand as a Rebirth being on Leap Day.
That's yeah, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it though. Again, not too much though. They haven't shown too much, which I'm grateful for. Really.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I was so on the hook for when they kept cutting back, what they cut back to the stage and then they were like, show you some more, and then cut back to the stage and show you some more. The only reason I was so concerned about that was because they didn't tell me a time frame at all yet. Otherwise, I would have been like, all right, I got what I need, I'm out.
Yeah, but they didn't, and I'm like, that's great. As someone who hasn't played Final Fantasy VII and still hasn't, and at this point, I'm committing to the bit. I will play the entirety of the remake trilogy before even playing the original. I'm committed at this point. It's been 7 years, damn it. I might as well commit to the bit.
Yeah.
But as someone who hasn't, and I know little bits and pieces. Like I know that there was, I know that there's there's a complete separation of immersion when you go from the scene at the end of part 2 to snowboarding at the start of part 3, right? But they, like I say, if I'm completely oblivious and blind to the main story, it doesn't matter what they're changing. They've told me nothing. The meteor's coming. Cloud and the gang are trying to stop Sephiroth. They literally haven't even told me what their goal is, why they're going to Wutai or all of this jazz. They've not told me anything. I know nothing, which is great. Keep me out of the loop. That's fantastic. Because
don't want to know anything till I start the game, really.
Yeah, because with Rebirth, I did have an idea that was like, okay, we're off now. We're off to find Sephiroth, and this is going to lead us to here and here, and this is, going to start happening. And it's like, oh, and, getting everyone's getting involved and stuff like that, and this is how Yuffie comes in. It's like I knew basic bits, whereas this, I'm like, you've told me nothing here, and that's great. And I think it's good because we have all of our players, we have all of our characters. You don't need to tell me anything. You can say, here's Sid and here's Vincent. I've already seen them in the last one, so I don't need to worry about that. It's good. I'm happy. It looks
One thing I really liked about the when everyone was jumping off, Vincent had like a very static pose as he was falling for the parachute.
Yeah, it's that's quite funny.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
I also saw there was a clip they were showing of some gameplay of Sid, and the party was Sid, Kate Seath, and Barrett. And I was like, if that is a forced combination, then whoever's designed that chapter is going straight to the depths, dude. He is not entering the gates. He is done, because that is diabolical. I was like it was Sid in Wutai. It looked like it was in Wutai, so I don't think it's a. I don't think it was.
That wouldn't make any sense.
I was like, that's gonna match like boxes from Rebirth. Like that's gonna match that section. If you stick me in an area and all I've got is Barrett, Kate Sith, and blooming Sid, that's diabolical. That is a diabolical combination.
Yeah.
The only good thing about Aerith,
Sid's gameplay better be good,
The only benefit that I have about Aerith is I did not enjoy her gameplay really when I was playing as her. So one less person to worry about being forced into combat with at the moment, unless in the final boss when you have a duo of Zack and Aerith.
That'll be the stuff. Godspeed.
But yeah, Summer Game Fest pretty decent. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, best one of these there's been in a while.
Yeah. He always has a good one every so often, so it's good to see him on form. But Hunter,
dude, he said it was the 7th one, and my bones cracked a little.
Yeah, I'm getting old. That's what I'm saying. It's like yeah, it's crazy. But it's not all. We've still got one more conference to do. So we are going to jump over to Sunday night, right before this podcast is supposed to go out, and we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the Xbox showcase, or at least our 2 cents, because who knows how much we actually care about Xbox. We'll be there for Persona though, so we'll see you in just a little bit. And we're back. I'm only slightly hungover, and my God, Hunter, it's finally happened. Ethan finally gets something in this world. Can you believe it? I've always said that I have not got enough to do, and finally, Phil 2, Asher Sharma listened. Let's just say, I'm right. Get rid of the logos. If it gives me Spyro, Hunter, get rid of the logos. I don't mind. I'm converted. I'm a convert.
The logos were present.
I know, exactly. But they can learn from their mistakes. How are you feeling, right? That was an interesting one, actually. It was
It
more
was an
interesting than I
alright
thought it would
show,
be.
I would
Yeah,
say. Yeah.
not
You know, like
bad, not bad.
it's one of those things where Xbox shows are usually a tale of two halves, but not like chronological halves, just halves content wise. Where you
Yeah.
have all of the Xbox stuff, which is normally not very interesting, and then you have the extra stuff that they have marketing deals for, which tends to be more interesting.
Yeah, it is, right? I think, overall it's still they always have these ups and downs where it's like you always get like your Fallout 76 DLC trailer and your Elder Scrolls Online and your rubbish that you see of Thieves, the stuff you don't really care for that you don't really need in a show like this. But then also a lot of the third party stuff that did show up here pleasantly surprising in a good way.
Yeah.
So, and like I say, even you continue to get bits and pieces. This has just been your Summer Game Fest season, it seems. You just get what you want at this point.
It's my
Um,
year. Yeah.
it's your year. But next year's my year from the looks of it. So enjoy it while it lasts,
Yeah.
bub, because we're going places in February. It's going to be a good time.
Uh,
Um, I've got a list here. I did my due diligence and I wrote one because I didn't know if everyone would have them up in time.
classic.
So I have
Yeah,
got one
my plan
ready and
was to
ready
just
to go.
reverse scroll the Wario 64 page, but if you
That's
got a
fair.
list.
We do love Wario 64 in this household. That is true. But I'm gonna go through most of them. Some of them we don't really have to talk. We don't have to touch on too much. Starting off, Gears of War E-Day got a trailer, even though it's already selfish enough to take up a second half of the show. So thanks for that one, I guess, lads.
They
Appreciate
really
that.
like doing that, it seems. I remember they did that with Starfield too. I don't remember what was last year's thing,
Call of
but
Duty, and they
oh,
didn't.
last year's thing was
Oh
Call
no,
of Duty. It
no, it
just
wasn't. That was the year before. That was the year before. What was it
okay.
last year? Was
I
it
don't
Outer
remember
Worlds?
what
It was
it
Outer
was.
Worlds. It was Outer
Oh, it
Worlds
was
too.
Outer Worlds. Okay. Yeah, I feel like they should just not do the trailer for the thing at the beginning if you're just
Yeah.
gonna showcase all of it at the end anyhow.
I agree. I think that, or like you put that stupid Call of Duty trailer at the end, which was a terrible one more thing. Never do that again. So maybe
At
put
least they had the
that as your
decency
one
to
more
tell me
thing,
already.
as here's the trailer for Gears of War E-Day, followed by a deep dive, so people can watch the trailer, go, cool, I'm not interested in the deep dive, and turn off, instead of weird DMZ gameplay that we didn't need. But yeah, Gears of War is coming. It is coming this October, and it is exclusive to Xbox on console. The children cry. Jeff Grubb leaked this yesterday, and he said it was a very last minute decision. A PS5 port was made. They scrapped it to do
I
this for the
can't wait for it
gamers.
to show up a year later anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give it 3 years. It'll be on there. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. I understand. I think, and I believe this in my heart of hearts. I'm not saying this. Like, I'm not trying to backpedal. I think there should be an exclusivity window for Xbox exclusives, like true Xbox. It should be like a 6 or 12-month window. Give people something, a reason to be in your ecosystem, right? I'm all for that. But the idea of this trying to backpedal it as if it's a good thing when we all know, let's be real here, these games are probably going to end up in other places eventually anyway. And the two to do it with, Gears of War and Clockwork Revolution, what a rogue pair to do it with.
I feel like Gears of War, fair enough. That's like one of your big like core IPs. Clockwork Revolution is a new thing that is unproven, and I feel like that's doing them a disservice to not give them the chance to be as many. Like, I feel like the move would be if you wanted to make the first one everywhere and then lock down your exclusivity for a hypothetical second one.
It's weird, isn't it? And I think it's weird because there's no rules going for this, right? It's like, yeah,
No, it's
okay, Fable and
loosey-goosey.
Halo were already, yeah, Halo and Fable already announced, so they're still coming to PS5. And
Yeah.
Halo Studios kind of suggested that the future of Halo would also be on PS5, so I don't know if they backtrack on that or what the deal is there. But there were new Xbox games announced today that are coming to PS5 and Switch.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's just new stuff is exclusive, it's just those two, which is weird to me. Yes, I think it makes sense when we talk about Senua and we talk about Spyro. Spyro, we can actually say it now. That's sick.
Yeah.
That makes sense for them to be everywhere else because they don't particularly sell well on Xbox. But it feels weird. It's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, and I just think the whole messaging is just very stupid. I think they should just go for a generic, at least for true Xbox games, not Bethesda and not Activision, for true Xbox games, I think they should just have a clause where it is just very similar to, what PlayStation did with their stupid third-party timed exclusivity stuff, where it's like, it's 12 months, it's 6 months, it's a fixed period, there you go, shut up. You know, not this, yeah, Halo's day and date, Fable's day and date, Gears of War E-Day, though, nah, only on Xbox. I'm like, who's going to buy an Xbox just for 2 games? Let's be real.
Yeah, it's
No one.
weird, especially right now.
Yeah. The climate's wrong. And also, not to be a Gears of War hater, but Gears of War has not changed since the 360, and that does look like it looks pretty good. It looks like a good time for Gears of War fans, but it has not changed. What I was like listening to the voice acting and looking at that gameplay, I'm like, wow, this is a 2008 video game still.
Yeah.
Which if you're a fan,
Body
I'm sure more power
proportions
to
and
you.
all.
But you know, whether people like it or not, it's like, you know, Sony's IP from there, and it's like God of War kind of re-envisioned itself a little bit. It's like you'd expect a little bit of an evolution where it, you know, the combat is a little bit better, but it all looks the same, right? It's just like it's a weird one. But hey, it's coming in October and it's only on Xbox. Suck it, nerds. I also felt it was weird when Asha she like made a point of that. It felt like, again, it just stop going for the lowest common denominator on Twitter. Just actually do like good business moves instead of caring about what the fanboys on Twitter are giving them monkeys about. Anyway, I digress. It's fine. Fable, February 23rd. It's got a date. I did say it get a date, and it did. February 23rd.
Sure does.
This was interesting. It showed another look at it.
The more serious tone of this one threw me off for a minute. I was like, wait, is this? I was like, because it took me half a second. I'm like, no, wait, this is just Fable.
Still looks good. Still looking forward to it.
It still looks good. I of all of Xbox's things that were previously announced that I knew I was gonna have access to when it came out, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most.
It still screams to me like, you know, it's like it looks like it's ready to go, and they have just pushed it because of the tight deadline around September, October. So more power to them, I guess. We will be playing it in February, right in the mines with 16 other games. It looks like no one wants anything in October. They just want everything in either September or February of next year. That is it. Those are the rules. Halo was after that. It's coming out in July. It's still coming to everything. I'm not that big of a Halo guy, Hunter. Do you have anything to add to this one? No? Cool. That's what I thought. Moving on. Something that is a bit more Hunter-centric, I guess. It's another trailer for Plague Tale. It's coming out in August.
You know, I guess I tricked myself into believing that I already saw a date for this. I thought it was like the first week of September that this game was coming out, but
no, it's the last week of August, just to warm you up for September.
So whatever my premonition about this game's date was is off by a week, I suppose. But yeah, it looks cool. It looks like it's more of an action game than the other two. Those were more stealth focused, but it still looks like it'll be neat.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait too long to play it. Next up, the first of 2 announcements from Atlas. This was the more substantial one, I think, in terms of actual content shown. Persona 4 Revival has had its full-blown reveal, and it has got a release date. It is the exact same release date as Persona 3. It's taken the exact same slot. It's February 18th, 2027. Again, we called this. I think this is a very obvious one. One thing I will say, though, is it's looking great. I was right on that as well. I think I said that everyone was...
It looks like an actual game.
It looks fantastic. As of recording, they haven't told us who the voice actors are yet or anything like that, but it looks and sounds great.
They all sound good.
Yeah. Whoever's voicing the protagonist sounds ever so close to Johnny Youngbosch that me and Callus are still under the impression that he's the one person that's kept his voice, because I'm like, that's way too close. Like, way too close. Would love to be proven wrong, but hey. Just because if someone else is doing that voice, I'm like, 1, that's incredible that you've got that close. And 2, if they do what they did with Persona 3 and they chuck him in as a different character, I would be really interested to see who he ends up playing. Yeah. So, or maybe he plays the other one. Who knows? Yeah, maybe they keep him as one and not the other. I feel that's a fair compromise. That's a fair compromise, right? maybe. I think it looks brilliant though. Like the UI and everything, like it's looking clean.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I genuinely was. Where I love Reload. I think Reload's great, but Reload always had in my head, like it always had a bit of an Unreal Asset Pack vibe to it, where it kind of felt like it was Persona 3, but also it felt like it had, like new engine syndrome, where it was like it looks a bit like a modern video game, a bit of the flavor of Persona is
It
missing a little
looked
bit.
like those YouTube videos that remake old games in the
Yeah.
Unreal 5.
Yeah, 100%. Whereas this one doesn't look like that at all. It looks brilliant. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, this looks like Persona 4. The color's back, the fog's back. That's great. Wonderful. Can't wait. Um, I feel like I hate to, this is where I am a hypocrite. I feel like I'm becoming a Persona 4 truther before the things even come out. I feel like I'm going to come out. I always knew I loved Persona 4 Hunter. I always knew it.
Yeah.
But we'll find out in February. Then a bunch of stuff we'd have to talk about. State of
Yeah,
Decay
no
is coming
kidding.
in 2027. It is coming to PlayStation 5. Again, like
They could have
fair.
kept that one. I don't think anyone
Yeah.
would have cried about it.
Yep. Sea of Thieves has got new content coming this summer. Metro 2039 has got a February release date.
This trailer went on for way too long,
I
I
agree.
have to say. Like, I thought it was wrapping up, and then it kept going.
I didn't watch it. I was too busy checking Twitter to see if Atlas was going to tell me who the voice cast was. They still haven't. You absolute deviants. But yeah, cute little indie game here. Kyle really liked it when I was talking to him. The look of it, Bad Magpie.
Oh yeah,
It
this
looks
thing
like
looks fun.
Goose
It looks
Game,
like
but
Goose Game, but you're
you're a
setting
magpie,
things on fire. That's a lot of fun.
and you can stick a fork in an electric socket, and it's a bit of banter. It looked fun and cute, so that was nice to see. Samurai game number 25, Wo Long 2, coming in early 2027. At this point, I just feel like this is a bad look, like bad roll for everybody who made put their bets on a Samurai Souls-like. My goodness.
Yeah, like I remember for a minute I thought I was gonna, because I know months ago, maybe at the end of last year I made a joke about Rise of the Ronin 2 being a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the wrong. I got the wrong one, and I
Yeah,
continue
it's
to
the
get
other
the
one.
wrong one.
Yeah. Next time it will be that.
Yeah,
But
it's turn
alas.
on the rotation.
But yeah, it's coming in early 2027. Early 2027 is looking very busy. Everyone is just staying clear of GTA at this point.
Is.
It's really mental. Anyway, join us this cult-like game that's coming out in March. So at least that one got the memo that February's a bit crowded. One for Hunter, Hellblade 3, just called Senua.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this at all. As far as like the gap between the first two was pretty wide.
And this
Took
one
them
isn't.
a while. Yeah,
Do you think it's because? Do you think it was maybe because the last one didn't people liked it, but I don't think it may have done as Hellblade 1 had a huge cult following. Do you think they're trying to kind of recoup, try and make, do a Final Fantasy in a way where it's try and reuse as much as we can and make another one sooner because the wait maybe was a bit long last time. Try and keep it in
maybe.
It's
yeah.
it's releasing on everything at once as well this time, which is
Yeah.
another thing where it's maybe they're just trying to get more eyes on it.
Most of all, I'm just glad to see Ninja Theory gets another game because, every time Xbox talks about closing studios, that's always the one I worry for. But
I say a
the
preference.
gameplay features of this one seem more robust. I saw stealth kills and
it looks like more of a video game.
Yeah. So I think this will be the one where they prove, yes, here's that gameplay you were asking for.
One thing I will say is terrible music choice. It was that bad that I made a note that the song that they chose to put in that was awful. It reminded me of 2014 E3. What are we doing? That was just
it's definitely not as suited as the rest of the trailers for these games.
Yeah, it was almost like I just shivered. I was like, what is this? This is Hellblade is usually pretty good with their trailers as well. So but hey, it's coming. And Hunter is excited. He gets another video game. Fallout 76 is getting DLC. Who cares? Doom DLC. Doom is getting a DLC where hell freezes over. It's called Revelations, and it's out on July the 7th.
I'm not gonna play it, but I will say that spear thing looks pretty sick.
I will, and I also think that having Doom Guy's face out on full display,
I
weird.
don't like
Don't like it.
I don't
Don't
like the
like it.
lack of armor for him, period. It's bizarre.
Yeah, not a fan.
Like
But hey,
every other time, it's not like this is the first time you've seen his face. They've unmasked him here
hmm
and there in the past couple of games, but um I don't like it.
yeah, neither do I. Next up, Sega's finally re-revealed one of their upcoming, reboot projects for one of their classic IPs. Crazy Taxi World Tour is coming in 2027. And it seems like, yeah, you're going around the world, baby, and doing taxiing all over the place. I mean, it's arcadey fun, isn't it? Like, you can't really
Yeah.
complain. It looked fun. This is the kind of
Yeah, it
game that
looks
I think
neat.
actually is a good fit for Game Pass because there'll be a lot of people who won't be willing to pay 60 to $70 on this, but will go, I might give it a try on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So and then people who want to play Crazy Taxi will just buy Crazy Taxi and then everything will be fine and all's well in the world. But it looks
Yeah.
fun. And it's there. Then a bunch of more stuff. Age of Empires DLC. Who gives a monkeys? Minecraft Dungeons 2 got a release date of September. So if you got that all in your heads, guys, you got that. Halo is July. Gears of War is October. Minecraft is a September in the middle. And there you go. And no one's again. Even Xbox doesn't want to touch November. No one wants to touch November, Hunter. No one wants
Rods.
to touch November. Magicians, The Devil's Deal.
This
Coming
one
in
looked
2027.
cool. Well, it looks like it has the potential to be cool, I should say.
It
It looks
also
like
looks
one of
like it had an
those.
art style going for We Happy Few, so it kind of gave me a bit of a.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, is it has the art style that looks like that, which also makes me which is what inspired the change of wording there. Because
Yeah,
We Happy Few looked cool the first time I saw it, and the subsequent showings talked me out of it.
yeah.
So I hope that doesn't happen with this, because it looks neat off of this trailer. Wands and cards, magician stuff, and first person.
Hell yeah.
Conceptually a
But yeah,
cool idea.
definitely. It's out in 2027. I know what you were thinking, guys. You just saw a magic trick, but you were like, can I play as Magic Napoleon? Yes, you can in Valor Mortis out September 24th. A weird concept of a video game there. But Godspeed.
It looks
More
kind of
power to you.
cool. Not cool enough for me to cram it into that busy weekend.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll check it out when it's on sale or something someday.
Yep. Then again, paying the Xbox taxes, and an update for Elder Scrolls Online, an update for Flight Sim. Where Winds Meet got an Xbox release. It's coming out in July. If you have not played Where Winds Meet and you care about it, if you don't, then this doesn't affect you. You're
Oh,
good.
is that what that trailer was?
Yeah. Castlevania got another look, and it's got a release date. It is going in October 15th to be specific. Hunter, take it away.
Oh, yeah, it looks real good. I'm jazzed for it. Happy to know when it's coming. I will be playing it.
Yeah, it looks fun. I couldn't. Her voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. It was one of those ones like I know when you announce who voices her, I will know who it is.
Yeah,
But I do not.
but yeah, I
Yeah,
can't summon it to memory right now. But yeah, not Sonia Belmont like I thought. Her name is Rose. So
yeah. Well, that's what you got to do, isn't it?
yeah.
What you gotta do. Well, there you go. Then you had the little like indie like kind of Ghibli looking game called Vivarium. That's looks.
I like this game's art style.
Mm,
If it's like a narrative game of some description, I will play it. I don't know if it looked like it could either be that, or it is like, one of those farm life sim things.
to me, it looked like a point and click narrative. That's what I got off. It
Yeah.
was like more of a point and click narrative adventure thing.
Yeah.
Which
If
cool.
it's one of those, I'm down for, because that artwork looks really good.
Mm-hmm. And then Atlas came and hit us with the final confirmation, ladies and gentlemen. Atlas will never get an actual reveal of anything in their life. At least something will leak from every Atlas announcement before it happens. And that tradition has continued. Persona 6 has been announced finally. Creepy teaser, logo that was already leaked. That's all you're getting. It surprises me how people are surprised about how dark and creepy the teaser is, because it's as if, did people not remember the teaser for Persona 5? This is kind of the MO for Persona is they do a weird teaser where it's a bit, you know,
Yeah, I
like the
feel
chains
like
on the chairs and stuff like that for Persona 5.
yeah,
They go with this, and then you get the next trailer, and it's clearly a Persona game. But I think it
yeah.
was
When they're
cool
actually ready to
vibe.
show something about it, I'm sure that you know.
I think the rumors are true though. From that looks of it, it looks very with like the logo being a classified stamp and stuff like that. It's giving very kind of spy espionage, kind of like almost like thrillery kind of vibes to it, which would be interesting. I was saying to Kyle, I'm like, they have done murder mystery before with like, with Persona 4 a little bit, but also that's happy campy, let's go to Junes and have an ice cream. Whereas, who knows what this one is. But, I think a spy thriller would be actually pretty interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening.
Yeah,
It'd be a
it
fun
provides a
concept.
good enough excuse for eclectic party members, you know?
It's just going to be very funny that that's the first teaser and everyone's going to go, ooh, are they going darker this time? And then you get the next trailer and it'll be the blonde haired guy and the girl with the red streak in her hair. And it'll be a very Persona game. And then everyone will go, what was with that teaser? It's Persona. They do it every time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's nothing we can go on. My guess is if the logo's the same as the rest of the leaks, then the protagonist leak is true. And also, I am going to go under the assumption that the release rumor of next fall is probably also true as well. Or at least it is currently. Things change. It could easily get pushed.
Yeah, I think the truth of that one very much depends on when they choose to show it to us again.
I also remember though when they reshowed Metaphor for the first time, and then everyone was like, I don't think it'll come out anytime soon, and it came out surprisingly closer than we thought it would. So I'm like, I think you'll get a rough idea at some point after Revival. Like this time next year at Xbox, it wouldn't surprise me if they give you a release date that's between fall and spring of the following year.
Yeah.
But there you go. Continuing the Ethan block, Spyro, the mother effing dragon, is back. Spyro, A Realm Beyond, announced to be releasing in spring 2027. That magic
That
window
magic
right there.
window.
What can we say about this? It is made by Toys for Bob. I was not delusional. It seems to be Tom Kenny's back as Spyro. That's another thing, and it seems to be an evolution on the original trilogy. Even though a lot of people were concerned with the trailer focusing just on the free flight mechanics, that it was going to be something different, like maybe an RPG or maybe a Star Fox esque like flight game. It's not. It's just that's the new gimmick is you can fly everywhere. I don't know if you saw he like lit a bonfire and it helped him lift up and stuff like that. So I think the idea is like the mechanics are there where it's always possible to fly. The goal of this game was he's a dragon. He should be able to fly all the time and making the level designs around that. And, it's still a collectathon. It's still a collectathon. We're fine. We're living. We're thriving. We'll see more later this year is what they say. Well, I'd bloody hope so if it's out in spring.
Yeah.
No, happy for it to finally be real, for me to finally get some sleep and finally put that one to bed. Clockwork Revolution, another trailer.
That was way too long.
Agreed. I wasn't even mad though because at that point I got Persona 6 and Spyro, so I couldn't give a monkeys at this point. I just ignored it. I went straight to Twitter.
Dude, the first half of that trailer, by the way, almost convinced me that it was a different game because they were like introducing the crew as if it was gonna be one of those stupid multiplayer.
Yeah.
Here are your characters with their wacky personalities that will never be on display.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, wasn't it? But yeah, it's coming in 2027, and that's the second exclusive to Xbox game. Which again, it feels like a weird one to do because I don't think Clockwork Revolution is going to have that. Maybe it's because they're thinking, Xbox sales on other platforms have been a bit hit and miss. Like their big IPs seem to have hit, but there's other things that they've released and it's kind of not made that much of a dent. Maybe they're just thinking, we don't think this is going to do well regardless on PlayStation. Let's try and get a brownie point with the fanboys and say it's an exclusive.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's still weird.
It's still weird. And then it ended with Whimper with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 Career Edition DMZ gameplay that no one cared about. And then more Gears of War.
They had the decency to not trick me this time, so I could just click out of the stream right away.
That's why I was like, we can go home now, guys. We can go home. The real ending was Persona 6 and Spyro. What an ending. All right. The rest didn't happen. Magic. Pretty solid, I think. I'm biased, obviously. Spyro and Persona. I'm biased. But what else could a guy need, really? A bit of Castlevania if you're feeling like it. A bit of, Doom DLC. Crazy Taxi. There's stuff there. It was good enough. It was worth the watch. You've also got to remember it was only like a 50-minute show. If you take out the Call of Duty bit and the Clockwork, like if you take out the stuff that you can actually just go home and pack up, it wasn't that long. So it felt like you were getting decent amounts of announcements for the time that was spent. So
if you were to combine the best parts of this with the other two things that happened this week, it would be altogether a really good showing with all the fat cut off.
Yeah, I think overall, in terms of a SGF season, I think it was overall pretty positive for the most part. It's really weird because, like you say, there were a load of announcements at both Jeff and Xbox's show, which you'd usually assume Sony, but no. Persona's got an Xbox deal. Spyro's now an Xbox game. Castlevania did show up here for whatever reason.
I don't know. Maybe Konami was just feeling groggy or something.
One for them. Like kind of splitting
I thought
it out to try and cover
if
the bases.
Castlevania was gonna show up again, it was probably. I thought that the rumored Nintendo thing because of like
maybe
IP history or whatever, but it doesn't matter now. I have the date. They could show.
I'm gonna put a bet on it. Yeah, if there is a direct next week, Persona will probably show up again because they, for whatever reason, haven't announced the Switch version, which to me suggests maybe they've got a direct thing where they announce it's coming to there as well, because that's a rogue one. Switch 2, you'd think you'd want that on there day
one. You're right about that. Sometimes they are weird like that. Like I remember, shortly after.
But Spyro was fine. Spyro's Switch 2 day and date on there, so weird.
Like I remember shortly after the Metal Gear Solid collection from a few years ago was announced, like the next Nintendo Direct that happened, they showed it there too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This feels wrong.
You will like it. Yeah. But no, it's exciting to be honest. Overall, can't complain. And yeah, finally got my Spyro game. And it's everywhere, which is great. That's just what you want. It's on Steam, it's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, it's everywhere. Which is how I think they should handle the Xbox stuff, the Activision stuff. Keep it everywhere. Same with Bethesda. Don't do that for Elder Scrolls. I feel like you genuinely will just hurt more people than you'll actually help. I won't buy it. I won't buy the new Xbox for Elder Scrolls. I'll literally just
by
play
the
it on
time
PC.
Elder Scrolls comes out, there'll be 2 consoles. Well, hypothetically 2 consoles forward. Who knows?
I was jokingly saying when the show started with thank you for the past 25 years, here's for the next 25. I was like, don't push your boat, mate. Don't push your boat. I was like, don't be too cheeky. You don't know what will be happening in 25 years, mate. Calm down. You don't think Clockwork Revolution is going to change the tides of the Xbox? I don't know about that. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up because I am extremely tired and a little bit hungover and a little bit sick. But that's just because Spyro, baby. I can't wait. It's great. We will be partying in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Partying in the streets. We'll leave it there. It's been a bit of a long one and we've got a tight turnaround, so I won't do the spiel. We'll just wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Next week, is there a Rumour Direct? Who knows? We'll talk about it. If not, then we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. I've got a couple of things that I can talk about at some point, so we'll see. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Toodaloo.